for everyone.
Adjust to that weak wraparound. Come on.
You're playing, Poike.
Give me the full man. Your mommy.
So ugly when she was born, the doctor slapped her.
Her mommy.
Hey, Billy!
Check your replay. Now you look okay for a bit. No, and Shanahan with a blast to the
Hello?
Hey, Mummy. You like hockey?
NHL 2K owns the Goodread Coast. It's thinking.
Good hands and goal scoring are inherently linked. When Mike Modano and Brendan Shanahan get the puck in striking distance, goalies are at their mercy. Red Wings, Stars, Sunday at 8, only on ESPN. This is the game.
Welcome back to NHL Cool Shots.
Well, Shane, I want to thank you for having us here today. I had fun.
No, thanks. I had a lot of fun, too. You know, you really helped me out. I think...
Did I help?
I think so. I think you found your calling, you know. With your help, I might be on my way to soloing now.
That's a scary thought.
It is.
But congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, that's it from here. I will see you next week. Jen, take it away.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Hey, listen, let me give you a ride to a rink. Hop in.
You know what? I think I'm gonna be okay.
What do you mean?
After today, seeing the way you drive, I think I'll be fine walking.
Eddie, the rink's 40 miles away.
It's okay. I'll be better off on my own. Believe me.
Well, I guess we're going to wrap up things for this week here. We'll see you next week on NHL Cool Shots. Eddie, get in the car. Come on.
No way.
God.
NHL Cool Shots has been brought to you by Dodge, the official vehicles of the NHL. Dodge, different. By Bud Light, hockey fans make it a Bud Light. And by Bauer, leave an impression. Next week, NHL Cool Shots gives you all access to the future stars of the NHL.
Hi, I'm Brent Cron.
Hi, I'm Jared Allen.
All right, let's go. Yeah, this is like the 7th game of a Stanley Cup. Oh, what a hit! Nothing to it.
It's so emotional being with Shane Down.
Hold it.
What?
Can't see anything.
Could you get us another goalie, please?
That's my hair.
It's lovely, darling. It's just all everywhere.
Real nice.
This year, no different. Both clubs are contenders to the throne. The Stars look to repeat. The Wings seek 3 out of 4 a modern-day dynasty. Who's better in 2000? A prelude to the playoffs. Next. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Welcome, everybody, to Dallas, where tonight 2 of the real good teams go at it, and wherever Detroit goes, there'll be jerseys like that in the crowd. It's the Red Wings and the Dallas Stars meeting for the final time in the regular season. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, along with Bill Clement, and welcome. Despite a Dallas Stars team that has suffered through innumerable big injuries, they have survived it and done more than that.
They've done really well. They're now in first place in the division, and Phoenix looks like they're in the rearview mirror of the Dallas Stars. You know Dallas is going to be strong defensively, whether they're banged up or not, and they are strong. They're the number 2 defensive team, but they're number 25 offensively overall in the NHL. My kingdom for a hat trick, my kingdom for a 4-goal game is what Ken Hitchcock says, and Brett Hull and Mike Modano play on different lines. If anybody's going to get it done, it will have to be these 2 guys, but Dallas hurts for goals every game.
Detroit will try and shut those 2 down, and if any team is going to get that done, it'll be the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, the Red Wings come in as the number 1 offensive team, but I don't think it's because of their forwards. I don't think any team can match the puck skills of the big 4 on the blue line for the Detroit Red Wings. They are amazing, led by Nicholas Lidstrom, undoubtedly a finalist for the Norris again this year. Chelios, he is their banger. We've also got Larry Murphy, who continues to thumb his nose at Father Time. And perhaps the best free agent signee last summer, Steve Duchesne. They jumpstart the attack better than any 4 in the NHL on one team.
Those are some of the names that make the 2 of these teams just as good as they are. This game is about what might happen in the playoffs, as both of these teams try and establish superiority. We'll see. Mike Modano, the offensive star of the Dallas Stars, will be out there tonight, and he says, the man who I most patterned myself after, the veteran Steve Yzerman of Detroit.
and the Dallas Stars. And this is championship week, Barry, as you know, on ESPN. Could this be a potential preview of the Western Conference Championship? And if you're going to say that, well, then you're leaving out the #1 team in the West, the #1 team overall, the Blues.
Well, I am going to say that until something happens. I still think Detroit and Dallas are going to meet in the Western Finals. I'm from Missouri, just like the St. Louis Blues are. They got to show me in the playoffs. They haven't won. They've been beaten by the finalists 3 times in a row now. They got a great team. They're playing great. But until they can beat Dallas or Detroit in the playoffs, it's still these 2 teams for me. I love the way they're playing.
All right, we'll see how it shakes out. Barry with the Show Me State reference, pulling that one out. There it is. We'll have scores and highlights from the 5 other games around the NHL coming up in our first intermission, and the latest on the Ray rumors out of Boston. Brendan Shanahan, the top goal scorer on the top goal-scoring team in the NHL, is next.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Wendy's 99-cent crispy chicken nuggets, a small price to pay for great chicken. And by Fix-A-Flat. Spare yourself. Get Fix-A-Flat.
Welcome back to Dallas, everybody, as we get set for this 4th and final regular season matchup of these 2 teams. Detroit won the game here in Dallas 4-2. Dallas won the games in Detroit 3-2, 5-2. They go at it again here tonight. Our goaltenders, a great record against Dallas, 15 wins against them in his career. Chris Osgood.
Chris Osgood, his 6th consecutive start, 20 of the last 22. He's trying to get his game in shape because he knows the playoffs are just a heartbeat away at the other end. Eddie Belfour seemingly has been ready for the playoffs since about October. A terrific season for Eddie the Eagle. His numbers keep on improving.
He has had a disastrous time against Detroit. 25 losses. He's lost more games to Detroit than any other team he's played against. That was then. This is now. Out to take the face-off, Sergei Fedorov on the draw against Kurt Muller. Muller won it, and we are underway. It'll be Fedorov working with Draper on the first line for Detroit. Sent back in. Osgood a quick save. Cleared up the far side wall, not out. Brad Lukowich holds it in. Tried to dump it back for Muller. Zubov stepping up. Zubov will try and one-time it. Shot it into the wide side corner. LaPointe goes over. Dumped around the near side boards. Detroit will get the out. Draper cleared it ahead. Sergei Fedorov coming. Fedorov trying to hit Murphy. Instead it went through far side. Intended for Fedorov cutting. There's Detroit at their best. Heading right to the net first rush.
And the Dallas Stars do not want an end-to-end type of game here.
And we believe Detroit's going to try and come out and run with Detroit. An unusual kind of strategy by Scotty Bowman tonight, if in fact they do that. But that's what we were told today, that we're going to see the Red Wings come out and say to Dallas, all right, let's run. Something you would not expect Detroit to be doing. Cleared back up. They're doing it early. Shot on Maltby. Save made by Eddie Belfour. Kurt Maltby has got 3 goals on the year, gunning that one. Chase down. Chris Chelios in the far end. Larionov's line out there now. Duchesne on defense. Brought back to Larionov. Gets spun around in the far end. Larionov working in behind the net. Lyashenko was on him. Back through center, the Red Wings. Dallas got back in a hurry that time. Guy Carbonneau there. Shanahan slipped at center. Carbonneau would have been offside. Never brought the puck in. He had to bring it back out. He had both of his wingers in the zone. Hatcher dumps it ahead. Pushed up the near sideboards by Lyashenko. Chelios back to get it. Chris Chelios near side. Steve Yzerman out. Detroit changing it up. Yzerman to Kozlov. Kozlov to Yzerman going out. Ice poke checked away from him. We do start with a run and gun. Here comes Modano. Modano's got Zubov joining. Modano save made. Chest high. Centering pass blocked by Larry Murphy. Kozlov tipped back in behind the net by Brendan Morrow. The rookie was down on the ice. Morrow, good play to help hold that one in. Modano's got to try to back it up. Langenbrunner in the corner. This line put together by Dallas. 3rd period of their last game because they have played well and generated some offense. So Hitchcock's given them a chance again. Off the near side boards, it was brought in offside.
Well, you know what the trouble the Dallas Stars have had scoring goals, that Mike Modano is going to be the guy with the big bullseye on him. If the Detroit Red Wings can eliminate Modano, who has not only been hot lately, but just about overpowering. I mean, he has really got his game revved up. The Detroit Red Wings going to try and match him. They said this morning, doesn't matter. Any combination of their big four, Nicholas Lidstrom and Larry Murphy were the guys that just left the ice. Chris Chelios, Steve Duchesne. If they can get those four guys out there in any combination against Mike Modano, they will be happy. If there's room, Mike Modano is one of the few guys on the Dallas team that can hurt the Detroit Red Wings in a run-and-gun game. If they play run-and-gun and Mike Modano doesn't produce, the Detroit Red Wings will win this game.
He is 10th in goals on the year. Holmstrom dropped that one off. Cleared back in wide of Eddie Belfort. Doug Brown stepped up near side, could not hold it in. Gilchrist did. Brent Gilchrist back in the lineup for Detroit. Just his 9th game, a groin injury that has kept him out virtually the entire year. Send in behind the net and back to get it at the Lukovic dump. Osgood cleared it up the boards and out of the zone. And behind the play, sticks get up, but no whistle on it. Detroit's going to get a break out of this shot. Belfort will hang on. Players behind the play had sticks up. Other players were turning to look. Detroit kept going and ended up with a 2-on-2.
Gary, this is exactly why Ken Hitchcock has Brad Lukovic, number 37 in the lineup for the Dallas Stars, because of where Hitchcock wants this game played. He wants it in the trenches. And he wants Brad Lukovic, who is by trade a defenseman, but who doesn't mind getting his nose dirty, to get in there into the trenches and really try to stir things up. And that's exactly what he did. He dumped it in, then he tried to get into the corner to make it happen. Lukovic is confrontational. That is why he's in the lineup for the Dallas Stars, because they feel if they can get the game into the corners and in front of Chris Osgood, Brad Lukovic will be really valuable to them in that capacity.
He and Chelios continue to chat along the bench there. A little Sunday night conversation of our own. Kirk Muller out against Lapointe to take the face-off. Lapointe for Detroit. Trying to force it back. Couldn't. Muller won it into the corner. Muller starting hot on draws. Straight for the intercept. Bad pass. Sent into the seats by Eddie Belfort. First mistake made by Dallas. Belfort redirected it into the seats.
Ken Hitchcock said to us before the game, I don't want the game played in our end. If it's in our end, if Dallas has too much skill, we're going to go down. Where does he want to play it? There are 3 areas. This is area number 1. This is area number 2. And area number 3 would be right here, right around Chris Osgood in front. If the Dallas Stars can generate play in those areas, they think they will beat Detroit.
Face-off again, won by Kirk Muller. Sent around the far side, and a pen up over there on Scott Thornton, who was looking to move it. Detroit trying to hold it in the zone, unable to do so. Brett Hull up. Hull, he'll send that one in high on Osgood and wide. Thornton, Hull, and Muller on this line. Fedorov will pick it up and move it out. To center, 2-on-2. Brown dumped into the corner, rather, and wide. Matthew Dandino was out on that line that time. Martin Lapointe with a big hit on. Cleared up on the Dallas bench, and away it goes. Well, we're starting out with some pretty good physical play early in this game, and Manson just got a pretty good shot put on him.
Really, the only way for Detroit to establish their physical game is to play in Dallas's end. Brendan Shanahan, Marty Lapointe. I should point out Darren McCarty is a scratch tonight. He's got a banged-up hip muscle. But it's the hitters for Detroit that get their game wound up in Dallas's end. Detroit is not a very physical team on the blue line, but when Marty Lapointe and some of the other forwards get a chance to run over people, they just steamroll full speed ahead.
Marty Lapointe, 12 goals, 19 assists on the year in addition to the hits. Igor Larionov had the face-off one, but Detroit could not control. Sent in by Modano. Hatcher down the near side boards. Pushed back up Larionov there on the intercept to Chelios. Brendan Shanahan on the same side with him. Shanahan drops it off wide side. And Detroit really is trying to rush this puck up ice and create offense. Maltby over there jammed at it, pushed away and out to center. That's where Detroit will have to play it back. Into the zone deeper. Chelios made the move back and then went up ice. Detroit will do that. They'll head backwards on a lot of occasions. Brought back in by Larionov. Dump pass to Shane. Trying to knock it down. Guy Carboneau got it. Carboneau trying to key it for Keane, but he couldn't reach it, and they'll change it up right here.
That was the old hand is quicker than the eye for Guy Carboneau. He definitely closed his hand on the puck, but he concealed it so well nobody saw it.
Got rid of it in a hurry. Off the near side boards, both teams changing as they keep the matching going. Kozlov dumped it into the middle. Nicky Lidstrom is tied among the leaders and defensemen in scoring. Off the near side boards. Big jam up by Hatcher. Real good hit by Hatcher as he got Pat Verbeek in the corner. Verbeek will remember that. Eisenman behind it up. Kozlov, Verbeek, and Eisenman on this line. Hatcher again doing battle there. Verbeek moves in. Over his stick up the near side. Langenbrunner's got it. Langenbrunner with Modano ahead of him. Couldn't get it out. Kozlov tried to dump it in. No penalty called on that. Cutting to the middle that time for Verbeek. He got taken down. Rushing the other way, Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner, Madonna, score! A one-handed chance!
What a play by Mike Madonna. There is no stopping big number 9 of the Dallas Stars. Man, is he in the zone. A one-hander. Steve Yzerman is arguing there should have been a penalty. This is why the Detroit Red Wings were caught flat-footed. They were all thinking attack. Pat Verbeek was taken down by Brendan Morrow. No call. Langenbrunner the other way. Caught Larry Murphy flat-footed. Murphy got back in time, but Mike Madonna's speed just rocketed right up the middle and by Steve Yzerman, and he got one hand on this shot. Great pass from Langenbrunner. Steve Yzerman had Mike Madonna as hog-tied as he could. He had the stick in his guts. He was pulling him back. Not enough. Madonna scores.
Great goal by Mike Madonna, and that is his 31st goal of the year. And it gives Dallas the 1-0 lead on their third shot of the game. And a really wide-open start to this one. Pass to Grant Marshall went through. Kozlov chasing down in behind the net will touch it up for the icing call. Mike Madonna gets the goal at 4:41. 31 goals on the year. Langenbrunner the assist. And another milestone for Madonna. 342 career goals, tying Brian Bellows for the franchise lead.
But Mike Madonna really has a gear. There he is right in the middle of your screen. Now watch him turn it up. He is behind both Steve Yzerman, but Mike Madonna has a gear, a high gear, that I'm not sure anybody in this league, for a big man, and he's 6'4", I don't think anybody's got a high-end gear as good as Mike Madonna's or as fast as Mike Madonna's. And Steve Yzerman is obviously upset because his guy Pat Verbeek looked like he was blatantly taken down.
Madonna's 31 goals are the most by a centerman in the NHL. That one blanked into the corner. Nicholas Holmstrom got it in behind the net, tried to hit Gilchrist. Wrap around. No chance to go with it. Holmstrom in front. Chelios the chance. Deflected wide. Doug Brown back to get it. Brown centered. Tomas Holmstrom coming through. Could not handle. Chelios had lost his stick, so he's back there. He went to the bench to get it. Off the near side. Grant Marshall trying to make a move. Tried to drive that through. Couldn't get it by Yuri Fisher, the young rookie. Back in 2-on-2 the other way, and a whistle as players are tied up on the near side. Yuri Fisher in his 39th game with Detroit. This is one of the youngsters Detroit's bringing along in defense. He's only 19. Ian Marshall got tied up.
But Gary, he's one of the guys when he plays that can mix it up. He's big enough, he's aggressive enough, but he will be paired with a veteran player every time out. So will Matthew Dandino. But as Pat Verbeek, who played for the Dallas Stars last year and won a Stanley Cup ring, and who's now a member of the Detroit Red Wings, told his teammates today, he said, if you want to beat Dallas, you'd better be prepared to get dirty. I mean, you got to roll up your sleeves and get dirty all over, nose and everything. If you plan on beating the Dallas Stars with skill alone, and they're on their game, you're going to lose.
And we've seen that here in this first period already as Detroit came out and tried to run. We set an unusual strategy to take against Dallas, and Madonna took advantage of it, as he can do. Tomas Holmstrom on the feed. He gets stood up over there, jammed back in by Thornton behind the net, and picked up by Hatcher. Pretty good banging both ways here in this first period. Duchesne back out at center. 1-0 lead for the Stars. 7 minutes into this period. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Dallas. Thornton trying to move it in. Can't. Hatcher will dump it back to him. Thornton on the far side. Scott Thornton, 2 goals, 1 assist, 17 games played so far with Dallas after the deal. And Osgood's got to hang on to that one. We thought we'd have a good one here, and early on we do. Dallas Stars on top, 1-0 in the first.
A couple of body lengths on Mike Madonna, but it wasn't enough. Mike Madonna just fought through. Kozlov came back and was hooking Madonna as well. The big man got it done.
Near side, Thornton in the corner. Dandino putting the hit on. Our referees tonight, Don Koharski and Bill McCreary. They may have a night's work in front of them. Wayne Bonney, Dan Shackey are the linesmen working the game. Lidstrom cleared that one up. Detroit, Draper in the middle. Draper moving it in. A lot of stuff going on behind the play here in this game. They will need 2 officials as players holding each other up. Hull's line back out. Tended on the drop pass for him that deflected into the corner. Kurt Muller came back to get it. Muller hit there by Lidstrom, lost it. Poked it back in behind the net. Lucky Lidstrom will come back. Lidstrom, 15 goals, 35 assists on the year. And as we said, tied for first among defensemen in scoring. Brought by Draper. Draper down the middle. Thornton Pope checked it away. Played far side. Sador came over to meet him there. Puck still loose. Sergei Fedorov reached for it. Sergei Fedorov comes into this game. 17 goals and 25 assists and a bad right thumb. Been bothering him. He was out 5 games. This is the second one back since missing those 5. Off the near side for Shanahan. Eddie Belfour back in behind the net will play it with Detroit changing. Dallas will match it up as they change or are ready to change. Shanahan center shot. Save made by Eddie Belfour and Maltby, who gets his second good chance in this game. Elsewhere, Steve Levy.
All right, Gary Thorne, pivotal game tonight in Calgary with the Devils in town. Of course, the flip.
That's so amazing. I don't know. I mean, they know where they're going to be. And maybe it's hard for them to get up for games against teams that have to win when they know they're going to finish number 1. I mean, maybe.
The problem with that is if you lose your edge and aren't conscious of keeping that edge during that stretch run when you've got nothing to play for, can you flip that switch when the playoffs start? That's the problem. And there's Yuri Fisher. I mentioned that he would be playing with a veteran guy. He's out there with Chris Chelios. And that is going to be the format for the younger guys for the Detroit Red Wings. Dandino and Fisher will play with one of the veteran Big 4. And that tells you that Scotty Bowman's team and that Kenny Holland, the GM for the Detroit Red Wings, could use a veteran player when they don't want to play their 2 kids together. That means they're going to break up the rhythm with their Big 4. If they can get a veteran defenseman in there, and then they can pair him with one of the rookies, then you've got 6 that you can rotate when you want.
Larionov got a shot off that face-off. Deflected off the near side. Shanahan chopping away, couldn't get it. Keith Carvino cleared it out. Keane ahead of him, taken away by Larionov. Igor Larionov, one of the true wizards of this game in the world. The age of 39, continuing to play like he's about 24. Dump back out to center ice. Lyashenko, the 20-year-old's got it. Lyashenko, one of the many rookies who's got playing time for Dallas this year because of all the injuries. Played back by Chelios. Dropped it up the side, changing behind the play of the Stars. Quick changes to the matchups here. Gary Fisher dumps that one into the wide side corner. Nobody out to chase as Detroit change. In behind the net, it is still loose. Madano came in to help out. Hatcher comes in to hit on Verbeek again. Mapachuk was there, couldn't get him. Kozlov running wide, he was all alone. Larry Murphy a chance, shot that one straight into the legs of Brendan Morrow, and that'll deflect up and out of play. Stars lead it. Madano the goal, 1-0, 11:20 left here in the first period. National Hockey Night, Sunday night, Philadelphia Flyers, Colorado Avalanche. Colorado currently 7th, battling just to make it. The Flyers, let me note for Philadelphia fans, they are just 8 behind those NJ Devs. Maybe it's getting a little uncomfortable. And the only place you'll see it is right here on ESPN. Offensively, with all the injuries, you got to believe Dallas would be hurting. Well, they have had the greatest decrease in offense and goals per game in the league. Detroit, they are the 6th highest increase from last year, along with, of course, the defense that they play as they come into this game. 3.34 goals a game, number 1. Intercepted. Belfour again, the turnover save. A couple of mistakes by Dallas. Kozlov had the chance again. Eddie Belfour holding fort here in this wide-open first period. Osgood cleared it around. Madano over to get it shot. Held onto by Chris Osgood. Mike Madano may have taken a slash on that.
The Dallas Stars know that turnovers against the Detroit Red Wings will kill you as quickly as anything. Yes, the Red Wings can make something out of nothing better than any team in the NHL. Try for that low percentage pass in the middle, and Ken Hitchcock and his coaching staff pride themselves on getting their guys to make high percentage plays, not the low percentage plays.
Mike Madano's hurting.
He looks like he is, doesn't he, Gary?
Taking a little extra breath out there, and over on the far side, got hit as he was taking the shot. Clean hit, and it's not enough to get him out of there. He'll stay in the game. Madano 52% on face-off wins this year. Both of these teams, outstanding draw teams. In fact, Detroit's number 1. Face-off wins as a team, and Dallas is number 4. Would have been a 2-line pass. Zubov on the intercept anyway. Got it back out to Verbeek. Kozlov stepped in. Sticks flying around at centers. Pat Verbeek was involved in it out there again. Chased down by Brendan Morrow. Tied for 9th among rookie scorers. Morrow getting a great chance with veterans. He's out there with the Mike Madano line and Jamie Langenbrunner. Backhanded to center to Zubov. Zubov will lead the charge up ice over to Madano. Madano gets around 1. Dropped it back into the middle. Langenbrunner chance. Just a little wide. to the wide side post. Sador setting it up. He'll send it back. Morrow had gotten dumped, couldn't receive the pass. Modano trying to shoot it, deflected off his stick. Zubov gunned it in, and that goes to the other corner. Morrow over to get it. 12 goals, 13 assists from Morrow on the year. Modano let that go in behind the net. Kozlov came to get it. Both teams need a line change up ice right here. Through center, Detroit will use the time to change. Kozlov gained the red and dumped it in wide. Sador back. Sador turning up the near side for Zubov. 4 shots each. Modano the only goal. Near side to Grant Marshall. Marshall feathers it in, and he gets stood up as he wanted to retrieve that puck in the corner. Good hold up by Steve Duchesne on him in front. Almost a backhand chance. Puck just stripped as he was ready to take the shot coming back out in front.
Great play by Chris Osgood. He knows that if the Dallas Stars can get the puck into those areas they want to get them, they're going to try to step out front. He's got to help himself like he did there.
Aaron Gavey in for Dallas, poked it away, played around by Brent Gilchrist. LaPointe over. LaPointe, they just did the hit, rolled out the center. Holmstrom up, got a chance for a 2-on-1. Gilchrist 2-on-2, save Belfour. Holmstrom rebound. Holmstrom knocked it away, but Belfour down on the ice, blocked it. Gun to the near side, delayed coming up. It's going to be on Dallas, and there's the whistle. And the Detroit Red Wings will get a power play on a slashing call. Detroit will get a chance to tie up with the power play when we return to Dallas. National Hockey Night, Stars leading. 10:57, our first penalty of the game, and a Red Wings power play.
Dave Manson is still adjusting to the Dallas style. I mean, he's played such a press-up game his whole career, and he is paired with Sylvain Cote for the Dallas Stars. They're both learning to stay back.
Lidstrom will drop it off. Power play underway. Lidstrom will be the only D on the power play unit as Eiselman will play back on the point on the power play. Verbeek on the offside wing, the intended. Held it to Eiselman to Lidstrom. Sends it down low. Verbeek tried to dump that into the middle. Couldn't get it through the slot because there wasn't one there. Cleared up and out. Off Lidstrom's stick at center as Matt Tkachuk cleared. Verbeek knocked it away, and Eiselman will take it deeper into his own end.
Detroit tried 3 passes when they were set up. Hit sticks every time. Dallas's sticks on their penalty killer in the best place all the time.
Great pass by Fedorov to Verbeek. Verbeek dropped it, shot Lidstrom, and it went wide. Eiselman will play it on the far side. 11 power play goals for Eiselman and Shanahan. They lead the team in that department. But these Dallas Stars have the best penalty killing unit in the NHL. A chance to be the best all time. No team has ever finished above 90% effective in killing out penalties. Dallas is 91.1 coming into this game. They've not given one up in the last 3 games. 8 chances against them. Lidstrom, his shot. Score! That ends that streak. And it's 1-1. Power play goal. Nicky Lidstrom on the cannon.
What a smart play by Lidstrom. You know, the crease rule, the way it's being called now, is really tough for a guy like Eddie Belfour because the no harm, no foul rule allows a guy like Holmstrom to stand in front. Most goalies would like to see the puck. Some care about it more than others. Eddie Belfour really cares about it. Kind of a broken play off a skate. Nicky Lidstrom looked up. What did he see? Demolition Man, number 96, standing right in front of Eddie Belfour, and I don't think Belfour saw this. Lidstrom looked. Oh, did Holmstrom actually maybe even tip that with his right ankle? He might have. But the new rule, or the new interpretation of the rule, really works against a guy like Eddie Belfour that is really kind of obsessed with seeing the puck, and it helps a guy like Holmstrom. And when you've got Lidstrom back on the blue line that knows exactly when to do whatever it is that's needed to be done, you've got a good situation going for Detroit.
Nicky Lidstrom, who is tied among defensemen in points, gets his 50th point, 16th goal in a 1-1 game.
No matter what power play look the Red Wings come on the ice with, whether it's Marty LaPointe, see Eddie Belfour went down, looked like he wanted to take away whatever part of the net that he could that was the most vulnerable. He just didn't cover the part inside the post, and nor could he have, but I don't think he even saw it. Holmstrom gave them the perfect screen.
Detroit has done well this season against this great penalty killing unit of Dallas. They're 3 for 13. On the power play in the 4 games, and that's not bad.
And Detroit's on the roll. This is now their 12th power play goal. The last 13, no, they've scored power play goals in 12 of the last 13 games. And in that stretch, they've only allowed 4 against. I mean, they're really getting it done special teams-wise.
Chelios tried to take that away. Morrow came through the middle and actually got a little shot off, and it went wide. Chelios and Morrow do battle in behind the play again. Duchesne will bring it up for Detroit and got it in. 6 shots for the Wings and 4 for the Stars. Oh my. Belfour gets back and covers it up behind him. Martin LaPointe going empty net, and then Belfort just in time going backwards.
Chris Draper knew what was going on. He had a wraparound chance without a goalie in the net. See him shaking his head. The puck bounced over his stick. Belfort tried it on the back end. Here comes Draper. Oh, no, not now. The puck just jumped over his stick. Otherwise, he was out front and ready to rip it into a net. Might have been a race to see if Belfort could have gotten back there. But I think Draper would have beat him cold.
Whole new way to play net, facing in.
Well, you know what? You've got to be a puck-handling goaltender to play for the Dallas Stars because they force so many dump-ins.
Kurt Muller and Eisenman do battle. Two great veterans over there, an outstanding face-off man. Murphy, the shot, deflected near side. Lindstrom tried to hold that one in. Hull over there doing battle, poke checked it away. Thornton gets it around Murphy. Osgood comes out to help and flicks it into the corner. Thornton dropped it back in. Hull set up. Muller tried to hit him, couldn't get it there as Lindstrom blocked. Nicky Lindstrom. That's why he is such a magnificent player. Both ends of the ice. Got the goal, played a fine D right there. Murphy's open. Murphy's wide open. Murphy dropped it to Verbeek, and it bounced over his stick. In the corner, Eisenman sent back up to the point and out. They'll have to chase it down. Yuri Fisher back to get it. They get onside. Verbeek over to Eisenman. Eisenman leading this club in points as he's got 63. One ahead of Brendan Shanahan. Tying goal, Lidstrom 16th at 12:01. LaPointe picking up the first assist, and Larionov second on the power play. Spartan on the far side taken down. Into the corner, Aaron Gavey. Gavey dumped it right through the top of the crease. Deep rebound, though. Doug Brown trying to back it up, deflects into the zone. Brown back up for Chelios. Chelios taken out of the play by Gavey. Dallas gets back on side. Sylvain Cote in. Cote looking for the drop. Holmstrom read it. Tomas Holmstrom is stripped to the puck by... Good play by Lukowicz that time with the poke check. Cote will get it. Cote sends it in. Chelios waiting on the far side with Gavey on it. Gavey tried to run it into the middle and couldn't. Chelios got it out of there with one good pass knocked away by Cote. Held in. Fisher sends it back in behind the net. Doug Brown shot off the side of the net and off the body on the rebound of Eddie Belfort.
Good try. They'll get it up high and bank it in off the shoulder.
Look at Tomas Holmstrom and Sylvain Cote. Holmstrom battling on the forecheck. 3 up on the forecheck that time. Dandino shot and he ripped it wide. Lidstrom waited. Nicky Lidstrom will drop it into the middle. Larionov the move. Larionov in shot. Big save Eddie Belfort. Igor Larionov. Prime move right there. Knocked away at center by Lidstrom. Both teams changing. Detroit on the hustle up ice. Maltby trying to run to the middle. Can't get there. Maltby had the puck. Lost it. Dallas up the near side. Lidstrom. He lost control of it. It was flicked away by Iashenko and out of the zone. Intended for Keane. Picked up by Carmino. Nowhere to go. Detroit right now territorially with an advantage and beating Dallas to the puck momentarily at least. Lidstrom pass deflected, brought in offside by Brendan Shanahan. You can tell you're down to 17 games left for both of these teams. The playoff hockey intensity is here. Reunion Arena is where we are. National Hockey Night, Stars and Red Wings, one apiece.
No matter how good you are as a team defensively like the Dallas Stars are, you can't defend against this kind of skill. That is shot number 64 on goal for Larionov on the season. That is it in this game 66. He rarely shoots. He's a setup guy, and he's tied for the lead in assists with the Detroit Red Wings, but doesn't shoot very often. That time, he knew he was within range.
He is a treasure. You see, out shooting Dallas, Detroit 6-1 over the last 10:40 since that Modano goal, and the Red Wings have to back to tie this up on the power play goal. Dallas has given up a league low 22 power play goals. That's it. They gave up one here. Steve Levy.
All right, Gary, in Philadelphia tonight, the Islanders...
There's an important matchup against Colorado. National Hockey Night next Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Flyers, as we said, still with that shot to catch New Jersey. Colorado, hey, you got to have points to make the playoffs. Lidstrom off the face-off. Into the middle. Fedorov got it up ice. Martin LaPointe. Draper in the middle. On this line, Draper behind the net, kicking at it, trying to free it up. Did, but could not control it. Cleared back out by Langenbrunner. Mike Modano on the near side wing. Off the wall for Modano. Osgood will come out to play this. Just chipped it high off the glass. Held in on the near side. Langenbrunner came up, just blocked the attempted out with the body. Draper over there, trying to move it up. Dandino stepped in, back to the point. Nice centering pass into the middle. Good work by Fedorov to find an open lane and offside by the proverbial country mile. Chris Draper that time.
Now, the Detroit Red Wings know that if you want to slow Mike Modano down, you got to play him mean. Not just hard. You got to play him mean. You got to make him think about what he's going to be in for every time he gets near a Detroit player. Most teams try to come at him like that, but he fights through it most nights. Moments ago, that was Kozlov. They're going to try and jab away at him, poke away at him. But if Mike Modano can get the play deep into Detroit's zone, that's about as safe an area of the ice because of the makeup of the defenseman. Everywhere else on the ice, the forwards are going to take shots at him.
Mike Modano's tough. Broken wrist, second game, 99 finals. Still went on to play and led all players with 7 points in the finals. Giving it for the club. Modano has done that this year in other ways because of all the injuries. He's had to play a different kind of game. That one will be whistled on the offside. 3:21 to go in the period.
Chris Chelios would lead the way. I mean, Chris doesn't get around the ice like he did a few years ago, but he'll still chop away. The big four for the Detroit Red Wings, you see their penalty minutes. They're basically clean players. Lidstrom, 12 minutes. Murphy, 24. Duchesne, 32. Those are low numbers for defensemen, folks. Chris Chelios with 91. Not that much jam back there on the blue line. That's why I think if the Detroit Red Wings could add one piece to their puzzle that they hope will end up in Stanley Cup territory, it would be a defenseman that is just miserable to play against.
Tough, nasty. That one flipped up off the glass. We'll draw another whistle here in our 1-1 game in the first period. For Nicky Lidstrom, he's going for the Lady Bing. Pretty good shot at it. He's up there offensively. And as far as the nasty play is concerned, in his whole career, one roughing minor.
That is... I don't know what to say about that other than that is one of the most amazing statistics I've ever seen.
The other one I couldn't believe, Bill, we keep talking about Larry Murphy and the number of games he's played, and rightfully so. He's played 98.3% of all the games he could have played in his career. 27 games missed in 20 years. Nicky Lidstrom half the number of games, but the same percentage, exactly the same. They never missed. Osgood with a save, and he'll hang on. Kirk Muller set up high that time.
The durability factor is amazing for those big four on the blue line for the Detroit Red Wings. They've played all the games this year. I mean, not only did we talk about Larry Murphy and Nicky Lidstrom, there's Larry Murphy. I did a little math and put that in other terms, Gary. Larry Murphy, over a 20-year career, has missed an average of 1.4 games per year. How is that possible?
And it's not as though he doesn't play a lot.
God.
I mean, a phenomenal number for him.
Sure is.
And Larry had one of the all-time great lines. Getting older, he says, no one can say I slowed down because I was never fast enough. Face-off coming to the right side of Osgood, and Doug Brown waiting Yerzy and Gaby. Little tic-tac. Told you these two teams have all kinds of face-off men well over 50% in face-off wins. They're amazing.
Good. There are a lot of teams that wish they had one.
Yep.
Of either of the guys on either of these teams, any of the guys.
Gilchrist moves in, an outstanding face-off man. As we said, a few games this year, won another one. See the set play. Brown got it, flicked it into the corner. Murphy went back to get it. Tomas Holmstrom cleared it up the near side. Gilchrist cleared it out of there, chipped away by Brown. There'll be no icing. Into the corner, Eddie Belfour. Brown went over to block it, could not get there. Dallas on the out to Grant Marshall. Marshall, Gaby was ahead of him, but covered. Cote can't handle. Lidstrom drops it on the hard pass to Murphy. Up to Gilchrist. Gilchrist tipped it ahead. Tomas Holmstrom wound up, took a shot, save made, got taken down by Marshall after he took the shot. Dumped in behind the net accidentally, really on the chip by Doug Brown, who deflected it. Larry Murphy, a shot. Eddie Belfour, Doug Brown, side of the net, taken out of the play by Manson. Big play by Manson, and Brown would have had Belfour down and a chance at half a net. Tomas Holmstrom in the corner. Gets it up the near side. Scrum's first period being won by Detroit. Holmstrom in front, Brown again, shot. Didn't have much of an angle. Went right over Eddie Belfour, and Dallas, to take the heat off, will dump that one the length of the ice. Icing call coming.
Got to be impressed with the way Detroit is playing. Remember, they got to understand, you got to roll up your sleeves and get dirty against Dallas, and they are.
Want to remind you, it is indeed spring training time, and baseball tonight's ready to go. Tuesday at midnight, the season premiere of Baseball Tonight. All the stories, spring training coverage. Kyle Ravage, Harold Reynolds, Peter Gammons live from spring training in Florida, Tuesday at midnight.
The Detroit Red Wings are showing that they can play in the trenches as well. Doug Brown with a really good screen, got a little piece of it. Eddie Belfour went down to take away as much of the low part of the net as he could. As soon as a goalie feels that deflection coming down low and knows the deflection isn't going to be a high one, get down and take it all the way low.
Morrow's pass intercepted. In this first period, you have seen Detroit really muzzle the passing game of Dallas. They have had a lot of errant passes coming through the middle that have gone on Detroit sticks, and now we're ready to go. Brendan Shanahan and Hatcher.
Oh,
wow.
baby, look out here.
Darian Hatcher and Brendan Shanahan.
Boy, I'll tell you what, people are standing for this one. Oh. Hatcher is bigger and stronger. But I'll tell you what, in his younger days, Brendan Shanahan fought about everybody in the league every game, and you see what's happening here. A pretty even go.
Shanahan did come into this league, Bill, noted as a fighter.
Absolutely. He came in as a tough Irish kid, and he is still a tough Irish guy. He's just not a kid anymore.
This is the toughness we've been talking about that we expected in this game.
Pretty darn good goal right there. Pretty good goal. Remember, Darren McCarty's not in the lineup for the Red Wings. I think if these two teams ever meet in a series, McCarty is a big key. Brendan Shanahan, a big key. Martin Lapointe, a big key. Why? Because of guys like Matvichuk, Hatcher. They got some bruisers back on the blue line, and it takes some real good, tough power forwards to tame the big guys from Dallas.
First fight in the 4 games these teams have played this year with only a minute 34 to go. Both go to the dressing room.
Brendan Shanahan looked like he wanted to punk at Darian Hatcher, and there's why. Hatcher really slashed him across the arms. And you see that Shanahan actually wanted to get this thing started, didn't he? But the problem fighting Darian Hatcher is once he gets that big left hand locked onto some jersey right under your chin, he can just keep locking you out. And boy, you throw a lot of punches, but it's really hard to land them. Doesn't matter. I mean, the effort was appreciated by his teammates.
Minute 26 left to go. Game tied at 1 apiece. Shots 9-5 in favor of the Wings. Each get 5 for fighting. Brought back up by Guy Carvino. Carvino taken down. Puck deflected to Draper. 2-on-3 the other way. Draper headed over to Fedorov. Looking in the middle. The point was hollering for it. Pass behind him in the blind pass. Keane sends it out. Madonna from Langenbrunner at 4:41. An even strength goal. The power play goal. 12:01. Lidstrom from Lapointe and Larion off to tie it up. 1 minute left to go in the period. Near side for Draper. Draper at the blue, dumped it in. Zubov held him up so he couldn't chase it down. Played along the near side wall. Fedorov stepped up, couldn't get it. Detroit's done a real good job playing the wall here and not allowing those clears up the boards.
Yeah, and you know what? When Detroit attacks too, watch them try to come up the wall. Dallas takes away the middle of the ice, and if you try to beat them by forcing the puck into the middle, they'll eat you alive. So you've got to bring it up the wall.
Belfour came out to play that almost at caught with Revik moving in on him. Kozlov picks up another turnover at center. Kozlov with his tip pass intercepted. Thornton got a stick on that and knocked it down. Zubov cleared it out. Kurt Muller had it in his skates. Dave Eisenman and Muller over on the far side wall. Puck pinned up against the boards and will be whistled there with 16.2 left to go here in a real good first period before the 82nd consecutive sellout at Reunion Arena in Dallas.
Talked to Pat Verbeek this morning, and he said, you know, I'm still getting my offensive confidence back. I mean, different coaching philosophy. Scotty Bowman will let you be creative. You make a mistake, no big deal. But Ken Hitchcock, on the other hand, is very demanding of his guys at both blue lines. He doesn't want his guys to make any drop passes, no cute plays, no low percentage plays. He said, boys, when we got the puck, we keep it going north, right to the other goal.
And made it very clear that if you are not willing to play that game, you will not play no matter who you are here in Dallas. And he's got the authority as coach for the organization to keep it that way. Knocked down by Eddie Belfour. Belfour with a whistle going will end it right there. Sparkling first period here in Dallas. It is tied at 1-1. Red Wings with the advantage in shots 9-5. Mike Modano picked up 1 and Nicky Lidstrom answered with a power play goal. After 1, Red Wings 1, Stars 1. Stephen Barry.
All right, Gary and Bill, thanks. I don't know about you. I can't wait for that second period. You know, we're in the first week of March now, and the games and the fights are even getting better. That was a terrific star-studded fight.
You can't imagine, if you're on the Detroit bench, what that fight means. You got a guy, 33 goals. He's leading your team in scoring. He's going nose to nose with the other team's toughest guy in the other team's building in front of the other team's fans. That's what makes Detroit special. They got people like Shanahan and Eiserman and McCarty, who's not playing tonight. But that's why this team is in it every year, and that's why you can't overlook them again this year.
Nicholas Lidstrom has the goal for Detroit. That ties him with a couple other defensemen for tops among NHL blue liners. Harry and I are coming back. We've got some...
Welcome back, everybody. Dallas National Hockey Night. We're always talking about our National Hockey Night family. Our director, Doug Holmes, his wife, Amy, right there, and two of their children, the gals right there, got the signs up. That's part of what we're talking about, our ESPN crew. Great to have them on hand. They went to the concert here last night.
They always travel with us when the Backstreet Boys are performing the night before the game.
Exactly right. And when they're not here, we're the Backstreet Boys. Shots are 9-5 in the first period in favor of Detroit. The guys who picked up the fighting majors, Hatcher for one, Shanahan for two. Now back into the penalty bin to serve it out.
They did it the old-fashioned way. They earned them.
Wow. They need the extra rest. Underway here in the second period. Goals by Madonna and Lidstrom. Lidstrom's coming on a power play. 1-for-1 on the power play for Detroit. Dallas, a zippo there. LaPointe shot wide. Eddie Belfour now is good in net. All on the far side. Cleared that back out, and Martin LaPointe came back to get it. Good to have you with us here on National Hockey Night in Dallas in a great first period. Draper, he had 3 chances in that first period. Shot wide. Draper back in behind the net. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. Lidstrom a chance. Eddie Belfour knocked it down with a glove. And he will hang on. Take a look at our Canada Dry League leader board. Lots of games under the belts of these players. Howe, the leader. Alex Delvecchio, second. And Murphy closing in on Delvecchio. 1,543 all-time games played, all at one time in Detroit.
Something about the water in Detroit. There's a lot of iron in it, or something like that, that creates an Iron Man. A lot of games for Larry Murphy, and so healthy for so long. That is the amazing part of the number of games he has played.
And Larry Murphy up there all time among the leaders offensively for defensemen. Steve Yzerman back out to take the face-off here. Pretty close as was expected in the draws. First period, 54% in favor of Detroit. Won this time by Dallas. Back in behind the net. Zubov has it. Zubov second in the league in ice time over 29 minutes, 20 seconds played on average. Kozlov in behind the net. Pushed it around the near side boards. It was held in. Morrow got it behind the net. Played around by Madonna to the point. Zubov held it in the blue with a long reach. And that one will end up going up and over the glass, and the face-off will be out at center.
Remember, we talked about where the Dallas Stars wanted to play this game. Deep in the Detroit zone. You see in the first period that the puck was in the Detroit zone for over 6 minutes, but it was in the Dallas zone for over 8 minutes. A good period by the Detroit Red Wings. Ken Hitchcock wanted to shake the Detroit defense out of their comfort zone and get them back into the trenches. The opposite happened. More than Ken Hitchcock wanted it to happen. The Detroit Red Wings were able to grind down low in the Dallas zone.
Pat Verbeek with something to prove. Stanley Cup championship team didn't want it. So Pat Verbeek waited and finally got the deal with Detroit. You know, when he comes up here against Dallas, against the guys who were his teammates, one of those, watch this, shows. Chelios has it. Sent off the wide side off Cote's glove. Yzerman was able to try and hold it into the corner. Verbeek behind the net. Verbeek wanted to center. They're taken out of the play. And Matvichuk got a pretty good piece of it. Matvichuk ripped into the stick on Pat Verbeek. Dumped into Morrow. Morrow trying to center. Madonna goes to the front of the net. Matvichuk steps up. Shot save. Osgood, no rebound. And here we go in front. Chris Chelios saying that not here, Brendan Morrow.
Yep, not in my house. Well, that's only the 6th shot for the Dallas Stars. They only had 3 scoring chances in the first period. That tells you how well Detroit played defensively. Mike Modano had 2 of the 3 scoring chances. The Detroit Red Wings had 8 scoring chances in the first. The numbers really kind of bear that out. Now, you mentioned Pat Verbeek. He always competes like this. The thing about Pat Verbeek is it doesn't matter who the other player is. He came back on Richard Matvichuk with kind of a jab. Came back to jab Mike Modano on the back check. Pat Verbeek doesn't matter if it's his brother, best friend, ex-teammate. He will mow you down.
He is one of the toughest guys to play against in the league,
yes,
year
sir.
in and year out. In the middle, open shot at Belfour. The save to Shane cut through everybody. And a whistle, and then right up on the boards at center ice. Pat Verbeek got into it way behind the play. And after the save was made, they blew the whistle on it. Langenbrunner and Verbeek will head to the penalty box.
Didn't even see that. Were you?
I didn't know where they were.
I was watching Steve Duchesne step in on a real nice move. And back hitting on the near boards. This is what was going on. Jamie Langenbrunner and Pat Verbeek. There again. These guys won a Stanley Cup together last season. Didn't matter. A couple of why-I-oughtas right there.
I love you and you love me. Matching minors will go 4-on-4.
Now this type of intensity is our version of March Madness in hockey. Slava Kozlov over the line and two Dallas Stars collided. Brendan Morrow and Cote, they both kind of stumbled away from the slot, and that's the area that Duchesne stepped into for the scoring chance.
Langenbrunner for Verbeek, 2 for roughing. First 4-on-4 situation we've had in this game. It's been pretty wide open 5-on-5. Let's see what happens here. Zador will join the rush on the middle with Keane. Keane taken out by Murphy. Zador follows up in the corner. Loose puck, Fedorov behind the net, cleared it around. 1-1 game, as both of these teams have done well on the other's ice this season and over the past couple of years. In fact, that has been the case. Zubov played it right out in front of his own net, looking into the middle. Keane was up front but won't get the pass. Zador played it himself. Zubov's pass partially blocked. He got it back. Zubov waiting. He'll send it in off the boards. Chased down by Larionov. Road team has won each of the last 6 games these teams have played, going back to '98. Fedorov pass. Bounce. Carbino! Osgood came out, cut the angle. Turnover by Detroit in the 4-on-4. Guy Carbino was surprised as anybody when it ended up on the tape. Larry Murphy brings it in. Murphy drop pass. Look at Fedorov. And another big save, Randy Belfour. Back into the middle. Lidstrom was wide open and the pass 3 feet away.
Well, it was worse than that for Detroit. Besides missing Lidstrom with the pass, Zubov had just snapped his stick in 2, so they had one of the 4 defenders without a twig if Lidstrom can get that pass.
Chelios got it up ice. The move by Draper. Manson took him down. Played the man. Into the corner. Sylvain Cote hit by Maltby. Still loose. Draper came back to help. Maltby picks it up. Maltby bad for Draper. Belfour will take a little bump that time from Draper and gets back in the net. Cleared up, not out. Into the middle again. Maltby. Poke checked away by Sylvain Cote. Cote will move it up. Didn't get it out. Eisenman with a little ice. Puck would not stay on the stick. Both teams were changing and had only 3 players out there each. Adano clears it up near side. 11 seconds left in the matching minors. Manson the chance. Osgood to save. He'll play it off for Chelios. 4 seconds left in the matching minors. Chelios dishes up the near side boards. Back to 5-on-5. Kozlov, Eisenman, and that will be whistled on the offside. Pace continues.
Yep, a little bit of room here. Once 4-on-4, Larry Murphy tried to hut 1, hut 2, snapped it between his legs, and it worked until the puck was centered, and there was the turnover that Guy Carbino ripped. And then Fedorov with this great move. What a move here by Fedorov around Zubov. Zubov swung around. That was amazing. See the half a stick? There had to be some kind of stress fracture in that stick, because when Zubov swung around, he hardly touched Fedorov, and the stick snapped.
A good wide open offensive game here. 12-7 the shots in favor of the Detroit Red Wings. Fedorov 17 goals on the year. Chance at another one right there. And playing with, as we mentioned, a bad thumb. 16:24 left to go here in the second. Face-off will be at center this time. Muller came out, tried to tie up Eisenman. Boy, those two have some face-off battles. Muller took the majority of face-offs in that first period. He was 6 for 11 on draws. That one's going to be whistled. The man was always 100% on draws. Steve Levy.
All right, Gary, the Calgary Flames looking like a playoff team is done
this season. Teams having somewhere below 20 games left, 15 to 20 games remaining. And, I mean, Calgary with the 68 points and a chance to move up to 8. They can get a victory. The Devils struggling, trying to hang on to what looked like a guaranteed #1 spot. And I think it's still theirs, but the switch Bill was talking about earlier right now is on-off.
Well, you know, he was telling us how poor they have looked. Because Ken Hitchcock likes to watch all the teams in the NHL because he's a hockey fan as much as anything. And he just shook his head. He said, I can't believe just how bad the Devils looked the last couple of times he's seen them.
Especially when they played so well all year. Lidstrom is open. Gets the man down in front of him. Lidstrom a shot. He ripped it wide. Went to the right side on Eddie Belfour on the stick side and did not get it on net. Gavey kicks that one in. Will be an icing call if Dandino gets there first. And he does. Great to have you with us here on National Hockey Night. Want to remind you, coming up on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, the Mighty Ducks will be taking on Colorado and another edition of the NHL Rules. Our second semester for you. This game will be seen only on ESPN. Hope you will join us for the Rules game from Colorado on Tuesday.
Matthew Dandino has not played a lot in this game because he's got to wait for Nicholas Lidstrom to finish a shift with Larry Murphy. Just finished with Lidstrom. That's the pairing that Dave Lewis wants, who changes the defenseman. And the other youngster for the Detroit Red Wings, Yuri Fisher, plays with this man, Chris Chelios, and they are out there right now. But it really kind of interrupts your rhythm when you can't just roll 3 sets, when you got to kind of mix and match like that.
I want to remind you that Rules game will be a week from Tuesday. Shanahan and a save made. Napachuk plays it back in behind the net. Picked up near side. Hatcher, Shanahan both out of the box, and another tie-up as Maltby got knocked down Hatcher. There's Maltby. Maltby tried to draw it into the middle. Napachuk took it away. Got hit by Hatcher again. Hatcher's going to get a penalty. Maltby looking. Osgood heading to the bench. Detroit gets the extra skater out. Whistle right here. Hatcher's headhunting. Maltby was the man he went after, and he got caught, and he's going to go for cross-checking.
Oh, boy. Hatcher could have gotten called for a second one, Gary. He was so angry at the first one. Oh, he just got something else there, too, didn't he?
He got a 10. For yapping at the official, he's going to get 2 and a 10.
I'm saying watch. It's too late. See, that's the issue at this point. And these are the kinds of things that players that wear the C especially have to get out of their system before the playoffs start. Might as well get it out of the system now. Chris Chelios good play. Hatcher just trashed him, put him down. But watch how strong Darian Hatcher is here. Boom. See, Kirk Maltby made that happen. He kind of threw himself into the boards, and that's why Darian Hatcher wanted him to watch, okay? But he hacked him there, cross-checked him up high there, and then started yapping at him. Yap, 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 yap. All right? So maybe that first one should not have been called. Here's where he gets the misconduct. Maybe the first one should not have been called. That's irrelevant at some point. You know,
it's irrelevant immediately.
It is. I mean, whether it was a bad call, a good call, whether you liked it or not, that kind of reaction, you've got to get out of your system now before the playoffs start, or you're going to hurt your team. The Dallas Stars can't have their big guys sitting in the penalty box for 12 minutes.
Detroit has picked up a power play goal in this game. Dallas hasn't had a power play. This is the second one for the Red Wings. Against the best penalty killing unit in the NHL, the Dallas Stars. And Dallas wanted a call there, won't get it. Puck, though, ends up underneath. Lidstrom was waiting for a chance. Guy Carbonneau arguing now there should have been a call made. And he may have been right. He got knocked down from behind, chasing the puck up on the far side wall. That's not going to matter either. No. There's Nicky Lidstrom who got the power play goal.
And the penalties are mounting up, and it's interesting that the other times these teams have met during the season, they've actually averaged less than the average penalty minutes per game in the NHL. Not tonight.
Here's Eiserman open, and a save made by Belfour. Zubov takes it back. Cleared up. Lidstrom trying to hold it in. Can't. Eiserman playing a point. Will have to chase it back into his own end. Keane was back there on him. Got some help from Pat Verbeek, who will move it up. Verbeek coming. Power play for the Detroit Red Wings. Fedorov a wrister. Got deflected wide into the corner. Puck behind Fedorov. Keane was there to play it. Again, Eiserman will come back to get it. Steve Eiserman circling back behind Osgood. Shanahan, Verbeek out there in the power play unit up front with Fedorov. Nicky Lidstrom, the lone D here. Back into the middle. Dallas trying to force at the blue line. Shanahan trying to get it in. Madonna wouldn't let him. Cleared back out. Eiserman. Fedorov held the line. Sends it into the corner. Shanahan waiting. Never got to him. Knocked down. Eiserman held it in. Eiserman the move. Leaves it in the middle for Lidstrom. Open. A shot. Blocker save. Eddie Belfour chipped that one up, and that'll be clear.
The Detroit Red Wings have really experimented with different looks on their power play, and they've got a number of them ready to go when the playoffs start, including this one that's been really good lately with Steve Eiserman back in the corner.
You like Eiserman, obviously, with the great hands he's got for handling the puck back there, and a good shot from the point. Down to 29 seconds left on the Detroit power play. Game tied at 1 apiece. Larionov out now with Martin LaPointe and Thomas Holmstrom up front. Deflected away. Dallas shorthanded. Guy Carbonneau with a great pass. Carbonneau will trail Keane. Poke checked away by Larry Murphy. Keane got knocked down. Detroit will try and take advantage as Keane hustles up on the far wing. Tomas Holmstrom. Holmstrom pushed away by Matvichuk. Holmstrom trying to center. Dumped at Larionov. 4 on the penalty. Larionov. Holmstrom. Center for LaPointe underneath his stick. Penalty is over. It remains a 1-1 game, and Mike Keane clears it out. 1 for 2 in the power play for Detroit. Holmstrom on the far side. Crowd revved up. Holmstrom takes the hit. Knocked down. Brendan Morrow, the rookie, the man who got the shot on, and that's drawing the attention of the Wings. Hope you're enjoying this one. National Hockey Night in Dallas. Stars and Wings at 1 apiece. Swinging it about. Face-off coming to the left of Osgood. Off the draw. Muller continuing to do battle. Gilchrist that time. Won it. Gilchrist comes over to get it. Gilchrist in the middle for Doug Brown. Bounces over his stick. And played back by Sador. 14-7. The shots. Wings have doubled up Dallas in that department, but a 1-1 game still. On the wall, Kurt Muller stepped up to hold that one in behind the net for Thornton. Thornton. It's a little pick from Brett Hull as he moved around. Hull going to find room on the off-wing side. Pass along the boards, intercepted. Detroit, 3-on-3 the other way. Draper just got ready to shoot, and oops, no puck. Gilchrist had the intercept, lost it. Sador clears it out. Zubov will move it up this time. Zubov who can shoot it between the legs in the pass. Backhand pass, Hull shot, missed it short side. Getting fancy here. They're back up and out of there. Between the legs, behind the back, and a Hull wrister. Pretty good NHL action right there. Broken stick out there from Nansen, who had to go to the bench to get one, so Sador went all the way in behind the net. This is going to be an icing call as it goes wide on Osgood. 12-minute mark here in this second period. Great to have you with us here on National Hockey Night in Dallas. Raymond Bourque, of course, an issue as to where he's going to go. You heard Barry talking about the situation. What do you think?
Well, I certainly agree with Barry that the fit for Ray Bourque is in Philadelphia. They're the team that he would fit in with the best. Colorado could obviously use him. And Dallas is deep on defense since they got Sylvain Cote and Dave Manson. The reason we mention those teams is those are the 4 teams apparently that Ray has agreed to at least consider going to. I got a feeling he could be talked into St. Louis as well. Barry brought up a good point that St. Louis, if nothing else, might jack up the price for Ray Bourque.
It'll be Bourque's choice.
Yes.
Bruins have said he'll make the decision, even whether or not he wants to be traded and where he wants to go.
And he'll help whoever he goes to, but I think he would help Philadelphia the most.
Dandino's shot blocked by Mike Modano. And Modano will start this one out. Modano has picked up the goal for Dallas. Bouncing puck in and held on to it. I always like wine parties, so you in Detroit are going to be there. A reminder, the Red Wings on March 12 at Hockeytown Cafe are going to have a great benefit for Vladimir Konstantinov and the masseuse injured in that auto accident. It'll be the toast of Hockeytown. There will be over 100 fine wines from 50 vineyards for this banquet supper. Tickets are still available. Contact the Red Wings on it. All the money will be going to those 2 funds. So it's a great cause, and all the players, all the coaching staff, they're all going to be on hand for the night. That'll be on March 12th in Detroit. Great cause. One back to the point. Matvichuk's got it. Matvichuk leaves it near side. Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner a chance, and that one blocked in. Dandino had that one hit him in the feet. Held back in. No attempt to turn. Langenbrunner couldn't get the shot off. Eisenman coming 3-on-3. Detroit rushing it quickly. Eisenman into the middle. Save made. No rebound there. Steve Eisenman leading the charge that time. No rebound for him in front of Eddie Belfour. Take a look at our Visa storyline. Detroit, Dallas. You see the road teams have won each of the last 6 games played. Lidstrom picking up the goal in the power play, leading defenseman in scoring, and Modano for Dallas.
Our Visa replays will be both goals from the first period. This beauty by Mike Modano with one hand on his stick that just caught the inside of the post. And this beauty decision by Nicky Lidstrom, who rarely does anything except make the absolute right decision every time he has the puck.
Bear in mind, story not to be forgotten, Nicky Lidstrom waited a long time to decide whether he was going to play in the NHL in Detroit or go back to Sweden. For a long time, it looked like he was going to go back home. Asking about about Nicky this morning here at the rink. Nicky said, no regrets. I made the right decision. Took a long time to do so, but this is where I belong, and I love playing in this organization. Boy, they love having him. Larionov, another dazzling move. Off the near side to Chelios from Shanahan. His shot, that'll be blocked back by Carbono. Played around by Manson. Picked up on the far side by Lyashenko.
I got a feeling Nicky Lidstrom's investment banker thinks he made the right decision, too.
His accountant's real happy about it. His lawyer, all of those handling some cash that he is making from Detroit. But he's earning it. He's worth it.
Yes, he is.
Off the near side, held in Dallas. Lyashenko had a piece of that. Cleared back in by Guy. Carbono Keen at the empty net center. Draper was there to cover. 1-1 game still. Both teams changing. Larionov heads to the bench. Draper brings it in. Zubov all over him. Rides him into the corner. Around the boards, Lyashenko not getting it out of there. Fedorov couldn't get it. Draper does. Center. Fedorov in. Fedorov score! Sergei Fedorov, and it's 2-1 Wings.
What a play. The Red Wings are finding magic. They're finding magic putting different lines together. I mean, Scotty Bowman, the ultimate juggler. On this line is Fedorov at center, Chris Draper on the left side, and the big boy on the right, Martin Lapointe. Fedorov chipped this in. Great work by the Red Wings along the wall. Nobody, well, Fedorov's a pretty dangerous guy to have nobody pick up coming off the wall. But you see Fedorov is wide open. A close-range shot. Belfour was tucked back in. I'm sure assuming that somebody was going to try to pick up Sergei Fedorov. Nobody did. Good-looking goal for the Red Wings.
So Fedorov, after missing 5, back for his second game, playing with a bad right thumb and a protection on it. It sure didn't hurt him there. And the Red Wings now, with the last 2 goals, have the lead. As it is 2-1, they get it on their 16th shot. Cleared back in. Nicky Lidstrom coming back to get it. Lidstrom cleared it up. Martin Lapointe. Zubov, and a blocker save made by Osgood. Pressure the other way now by Dallas. Down they go in front. Murphy was there to cover. Lapointe clears it out as Matt Tkachuk came up at him. Goal coming at 9:43. Fedorov's 18th. Draper and Lidstrom get the assist.
Well, we know that the Red Wings can run and gun, but they can also play the game along the wall. Anybody that doubts that, just take a peek at this one. It came around the wall and then out, and then bingo.
National Hockey Night in Dallas. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, welcome back, everybody. Detroit, Dallas, both 2-0-1 in their last 3 games. Red Wings have the 2-1 lead here as we are midway through this contest. 9:36 to go in the second. Hillcrest up for Detroit against Kurt Muller on the faceoff. Muller trying to win it back to the point. Got deflected in behind the net where Duchesne will play it around. Up ice, bouncing puck. Handled there by Manson. Cleared it into the middle. Muller's pass deflected. 2-on-2 down low. Shot. Doug Brown knocked away into the corner. Good play by Tomas Holmstrom on the intercept to set up Brown that time. The near side, Chelios had stepped up. Duchesne a chance, and that one wide. And again, Doug Brown down low, looking for a tip. Cote cleared that one out. Duchesne doing battle on the far side with Muller. Stood each other up. Puck was free, set behind the net. Chelios came back to get it. Reversing direction on Thornton. Cote steps up. Holmstrom batted it away. Hull covers at the blue. Holmstrom took the rebound down off the wall, and Brown will bring it up. Brown to the red. Manson stood him up. Pass Red Wings wanted to change, so Duchesne won't chase the puck and heads off instead. And Dallas doing the same thing. Near side, Yzerman held the line. Yzerman with Thornton, a whack at him. Penalty coming. Shot, score! Verbeek! What a pass! Pat Verbeek on a tremendous setup by Steve Yzerman.
Well, this will make SportsCenter. What a play. That is why Steve Yzerman is one of the greatest all time. Yeah, Pat Verbeek with a great finish. Steve Yzerman was on his face, and he still laid it out for the one-timer. Costly turnover along the wall, though. Right there. In the middle, went back, and then Steve Yzerman down on his face. No problem. I can put this thing right in the wheelhouse. Wheelhouse, baby. For Pat Verbeek, and he just shelved it. What a play.
And a 3-1 lead. 3 unanswered goals now for the Detroit Red Wings. And they are on top. Streaks kept alive. Yzerman now has a 9-game scoring streak. Modano's got one, a 6-game streak. But Modano's got the only one so far for Dallas. Verbeek over the line, fakes, takes, and hit the post! Right in the corner, the crossbar, and the post, and it came back out. He was going for 2 goals in a minute right there. 18-8 the shots in favor of the Wings, and they've got a 3-1 lead. Verbeek gets his 18th goal of the year. Eiserman, Chelios the assist. Shot deflected wide near side. Goal came at 11:21. Last 3, Lidstrom, Fedorov, and Verbeek have had him. Madonna, Langenbrunner trying to line it up. Good play, Shanahan on the back check. Played by Zubov, twisted it wide. Madonna back to the point. Napachuk did not hold it in.
Well, we got to see this goal one more time, don't we? At least. Pat Verbeek was able to jump into the clear. Chris Chelios made the play happen. He dumped it back in, but the Dallas Stars still had a chance to clear. Couldn't get it done. Bang. Fantastic play by Steve Yzerman, and Chris Chelios stood up. As long as people are in front of you and you don't have any speed coming at you, you can stand up, and that's exactly what Chris Chelios did. And Pat Verbeek came real close to getting 2-on-1 shift. Watch this. Bing. It was up and over Eddie Belfour's glove. Bang. Right off the post.
A 3-1 lead. Pat Verbeek's first goal against Dallas. In the 3 games he has played against them, 15-4. The scoring chances in favor of Detroit. It is a big timeout. The Red Wings, the #1 offensive team in the league, averaging 3.34 a game against the #2 defense in Dallas. And right now, the offense that's winning it. Back through center, the Stars. 7:11 left to go in the period. On the kick in, it is onside in the middle. Kavanaugh couldn't get it lined up for a chance. They're back to center. Hanson's got to wait as Keane was clearing the zone. He did. Grant Marshall jammed it in but couldn't control it. Dallas changes it up. Kavanaugh runs into Maltby at center. Chelios cleared it up to the blue line, but couldn't do anything with it. And that'll be gloved down. We got a player down near end. Chris Chelios and Grant Marshall along the blue line. Now Chelios takes a shove from behind from Thornton, who I'm not sure knows what happened here. And
well,
Chelios is looking like
I didn't see it either, but I can tell you, if Chris Chelios is standing over a player and not making any menacing gestures, it was most likely an accident. We may be able to see Chris Chelios with the shot. And anything else? Well, that's why Chris Chelios was standing over Grant Marshall, because he didn't do anything to him.
Chris Chelios, I'm innocent, much like Steve Levy.
Well, let's keep it that way, Garrett. Thanks. Dodge takes us to Calgary. It's
coming. Take a look at that Calgary team. For Buffalo, not a good weekend. And Kolzig is red hot.
No, not a good weekend for Buffalo at all. Yeah, one more weekend like that, they'll miss the playoffs. But it looks like Grant Marshall is reaching for his back on that play, and as long as it's not the groin, because that is what was chronic with Grant Marshall since last year's playoffs.
See if he gets back into play as he went to the bench. Intercepted at center. Darryl Stador moved it into the zone. Dandeneau came over to get it. 6:30 left to go here in this second period. And Detroit up. Zubov moving a shot. Save made. Osgood comes up with it. Chris Osgood is 1-1 against Dallas this year. 15-6-3 lifetime against them. Keeps this a 2-goal margin. Take a look at the 2 netminders involved in this game. Eddie Belfour having a spectacular year. Goals against, he is 3rd. Osgood 14th in the league in that department. You see the average in the league is 2.71 for goaltenders.
But Chris Osgood admittedly has been kind of on a roller coaster, and he said recently, it's time for me to get off. I mean, this team needs me to be consistent at the top of my game in the playoffs. They won a couple of years ago with Chris Osgood not at the top of his game. Could they do it again? Oh, that's hard to do.
That's one of the last 2, actually, of the Detroit players about the comments that Osgood, those very comments. And both of them said separately, that was a couple of weeks ago. He has played much better since then, and we as a team still believe that this is a man who can and is our #1 netminder, and we We believe in him.
And they should, but what Chris Osgood wants to and what he has to eliminate is that weak goal that just deflates now and again. And as I said, remember how many players scored on him from outside the blue line? I mean, Jamie Langenbrunner did in that playoff run for the Cup. Jeremy Roenick did. Al McInnes did. Mind you, some of them were good shots. But those are the kind of goals that Chris Osgood does not want to let in. So as long as he straightens that end of it out, the softies, he's fine. I agree, he could win it again.
He is amazing in this. One of the numbers that always amazes me, he is still third all-time in win percentage. Now, granted, he hasn't played the number of games that a lot of the veterans retired have, but still, third all-time in win percentage is not bad at this point in his career.
It's great, and he was fortunate enough to come into the NHL behind a pretty darn good hockey team for a number of years. So it's a team thing, but still, he's been good.
Yep, and he has. Dallas Stars battling to hold it in. Got it down low the Madonna line. Got a real good chance, and Morrow, the rookie, will make it 3-2.
What a great play by Richard Matvechuk. What a super play. Mike Modano, big on the draws. That time it was against Doug Brown. Moved to the front. Richard Matvechuk stepped up. See what happened there? Chris Chelios, 24 for the Red Wings, cleared. He moved out of the way. He is to the right so that Chris Osgood could see the shot. I think Chris Chelios he's angry because he was gambling that Richard Matvechuk would just wind up and blast it. Instead, Matvechuk lifted his head and threaded a perfect deflectable shot to Morrow.
That's why Hitchcock has held this line together. They've played well this season when they've been together. Langenbrunner, Morrow, and Madonna. He is now 9th among rookie scorers as he picks up that goal and makes this a one-goal game. 14:04. Morrow gets his 13th. Matvechuk and Madonna picked up the assist.
The goal that was just scored, watch Brent Gilchrist right here. He wants to come out here and make sure that he eliminates the shot from the point. But when the puck went back to Richard Matvechuk, Brent Gilchrist had Jamie Langenbrunner kind of hang on him. Watch what Gilchrist does. He twirls and misses. Now we'll stop it right here for a second. You see Chris Chelios here. He let his man go. That is Brendan Morrow on the other side of the net because Chelios was thinking blast coming from the point. I got to let Osgood see it. A couple things happened there that Detroit did that led to that goal by Dallas.
Steve Yzerman drops it back. Lidstrom looking. Dallas lines up along the blue, so Detroit dumps it in. Zador, the hit put on by Verbeek. Yzerman in to help. Poke checked away. And Zubov will take it in behind his own net. 2 goals, 10 shots for the Stars, 3 goals, 18 shots for the Wings. Marshall brings it in. Lidstrom on it. Still loose in behind the net. Grant Marshall. Marshall dropped it, trying to get it out in front. Zubov had moved way up from the point and may have to pay for it. Nope, they'll get back. Matvechuk back. Verbeek was ready to head up ice, realizing only 1D back. But he got good coverage back there. Roman Lyashenko fell back to help out. Keane in the middle. Keane sends it. Lyashenko. That one blocked by Lidstrom off his stick. Matvechuk overskated. Lyashenko came back to get it. Lyashenko, just 20 years old, and a battler off the near side wall. Detroit will just put that one out of the zone. Matvechuk knocked it down. Maltby had it, tried to draw it by. Matvechuk stood him up. Zubov will play it back in behind the net. Maltby moved up on the check. Both teams changing. Osgood had to play that from one end to the other. Chelios takes it back in behind the net. Chris Chelios, one of those 7 U.S.-born players to reach that 800-point mark that Madonna just made here tonight. Played back into the corner on the touch-up. Matvechuk, that'll be whistled on the icing call. Steve Levy.
Gary, thank you. Dodge takes us back to Philadelphia. It's been an entertaining game. Final 3 minutes of regulation time. The Islanders hanging around.
There's Madonna with a magic number of 800 reached here tonight in points, and U.S.-born players. Phil Housley, Joe Mullen, Pat LaFontaine, Neil Broughton, Jeremy Roenick, Chris Chelios, and now Mike Modano. 800 plus.
And counting.
And counting.
Many more to come in Mike Modano's career. He's not done yet. Not even done this season yet.
He's had 5 goals, 6 assists in the last 6 games. Current streak that he has kept alive here tonight. Modano on the faceoff, got it back to Manson. Manson the shooter wide of the net. Zubov stepped up again. He's shot. Backhander right through the middle. Played by Brendan Morrow. Martin Lapointe cleared it out. Back onside. Modano's out in front. Turnover by Detroit. Zubov steps up, takes a shot wide, short side. Laid off the rebound to Lapointe. Martin LaPointe trying to move it in. Poke checked away. Onside, though. Manson had poked it away. Langenbrunner trying to clear it up. LaPointe was still tied up over there. Played over to Chelios from Duchesne. Red Wings clear the zone. 3:30 left to go in this second period. Eddie Belfour headed up. Just what you would expect. Two fine teams like this get together. It's been a good one, and the Red Wings on top by just one now. Want to remind you, Championship Week, college hoops coming up. Tomorrow, ESPN, it'll kick off 7 o'clock, the Metro Atlantic Conference Championship. Siena takes on Iona.
Dallas Stars have taken it away. There is Brendan Morrow, the good-looking rookie for the Dallas Stars. Dave Manson got a jab in on LaPointe, and Brendan Morrow went over to help finish the job. The Dallas Stars have picked it up since Morrow scored.
Fine rookie. He was tied for 9 coming in. Holds that spot right now, at least. Alone. Kurt Muller. Muller looking. Wanted to center. Tied up by Larry Murphy. Dumped it out in front, but Murphy got a lot of him. Gilchrist pass intercepted by Matvichuk. Mike Keenan behind the net. Osgood plays it around, but Murphy was up too close to handle it. Cote stepped in. Holmstrom on the far side. Matvichuk moved up to block it. You see the Dallas D really stepping up here in this second period to hold the puck in at one end and joining the offensive flow in the other. This one, length of the ice icing call. Yes. Eddie Belfour playing against Detroit has to focus in and think twice because he has really had a hard time. 19, 25, and 7 lifetime. The most losses against any team in the NHL. Primary reason, most goals against him. 21 by Steve Yzerman, 16 by Brendan Shanahan, 15 by Sergei Fedorov. Thankful Hull came to him instead of to Detroit.
Yeah, they used to knock heads in the old Norris division, then the Central Division, St. Louis and Chicago, and Detroit and Chicago. Remember, Eddie Belfour spent so many years in the Chicago organization. The Detroit Red Wings banged heads with his team often.
Here's Sador moving in. Backhander! What a save by Osgood! The puck was redirected after he was down on the ice. That saves goal number 3 for the moment.
Little foot speed there.
Wow. Madonna will bring it the other way. Hull's joined him now. Hull trying to get it back to Madonna. Right back over Hull's stick. Stepping up Sador. Everybody offensive-minded right now for Dallas. Side of the net. It is still loose. Cleared up by Chris Chelios. Not out. Hull a chance. Save made again. Centering pass. Oh! Another save made by Osgood. And Chelios will flip to take the heat off. No icing. Played back, Zubov up for Madonna, went to Sador. Both teams trying to get changes here. Thornton let that one go through. Chelios trying to hit Maltby, who came out on the ice. Both teams in the middle of line changes. Guys hanging over the boards. Sador bumped it ahead. Gave you off the near side. Langenbrunner cutting. Gave you a chance. Osgood, I got that one.
No problem. Well, the scoring chances are getting a little even now as Dallas is piling them up. And Chris Osgood looks real sharp. I mean, just an exquisite save with his right foot moments ago. And in that one where he popped it in the air and grabbed it. But the Dallas Stars are definitely coming. Here's that great foot save right here. No sweat. Actually got it a little bit further up in the pad. But boy, to be that quick right there and to kick it out. You got to remember the pad weighs something, and that's not exactly the best position to be in to kick it out. Brett Hall, sharp angle, and nothing there. I mean, there was nothing doing on that one. Osgood had it sealed off on the short side.
Heck of a matchup. Jamie Langenbrunner trying to dig it out. Gavey, and another great save by Osgood. Aaron Gavey found it. Penalty coming on Detroit. Delayed call. Belfour's to the bench. Extra skater out. Sent behind to Hatcher. Hatcher keeps it alive. Langenbrunner in front of the net, knocked down. Could be 2 calls if they want to. Matvichuk, extra skater out. Hatcher can't handle. Whistle will come right here. A power play with 1:20 to go in the period. Steve.
Gary, it's all over. Dodge can't get us to Philadelphia fast enough. This is overtime. In the first minute, Isles and Flyers tied at 3. Josh Green sets up behind the net all sorts of time. Mariusz Czerkowski, and they were checking him. The Islanders win the Stanley Cup. Gary and Bill.
Looked like it, didn't it? Yeah. Bill, we were talking the other day about playing against these kind of teams right now.
You look at your schedule and you think, oh, great, we got the Islanders coming up, we got Tampa, we got Nashville, we got Atlanta, we got Chicago. Wrong. They're teams you don't want to play this time of year.
They are raising havoc in the race to the playoffs.
Great shot by Gavey and a better save by Osgood. Boy, his technique has been perfect. There's the hook, the takedown. Wasn't a roughing penalty on Lidstrom. It was just a hook.
Just a hook.
Just a hook. Still
So
an unusual. That's still what? The penalty minutes 13 and 14 on the season?
He's piling them up. 18:40, time of the penalty. Dallas Stars out shooting Detroit 7-0 now at the 7:19. Last 7:19. Zubov, they got a chance to tie it on the power play. Sador, Osgood. Sador plays the rebound. Madonna trying to set up in front. Pass to him, deflected and cleared. Dallas Stars on the power play. This is their first power play chance of the game. Their power play is 23rd. Dropped from 6th to 23rd from last year. Detroit penalty killers tied for 4th. Detroit's given up the 4th fewest power play goals. Wide open for a moment. Hull in the middle. Both Madonna and Hull had chances that time. Madonna passed and Hull couldn't get the puck. Yzerman short-handed. Fedorov! Score! Sergei Fedorov, a short-handed goal! With 37 seconds to go in the period. 4-2 Wings.
Backbreaker. Back-breaking goal. What a shot by Fedorov. That right thumb of his, he's got a special protective splint that he wears even off the ice. It's on the top hand, which still allows him to shoot. Guess what? It ain't bothering him all that much, is it? He ripped that one. Looked like it went off the post. Nice little dish to Steve Yzerman, but then again, everybody just left Fedorov. You got to work just as hard on the power play as you do on the penalty kill, or you end up giving up shorthanded goals. This was easily avoidable by the Dallas Stars if they had picked up Sergei Fedorov, and yeah, that looked like it creased the post and just ripped back in behind Eddie Belfour. Boy, what a big goal. To me, that's a backbreaker.
Hey, that is number 10 for Detroit this year. They are 4th in the league in shorthanded goals scored. The 6th given up by Dallas. It makes it a 4-2 lead, and it comes in the final minute of the second period. Langenbrunner, save! Rebound! Gavey! Score! 4-3! Gavey!
That broken back out of traction, just come right back and bang one. That's exactly what the Dallas Stars have done here. Hey, this is supposed to be a low-scoring tilt. It bounced just over. You know what? The Red Wings, Larry Murphy put that in. Watch this from our goal cam. I don't think it went across the line originally. It was on the line, and Larry Murphy, in a desperate attempt to keep it out, jabbed it in. Had nobody touched that, it would have stayed at least part of the puck on the line. The entire puck wasn't over the line, and Murphy was trying to help, but it didn't work. So, all of a sudden, the Dallas Stars are let out of the intensive care unit by scoring that one.
10 seconds to go in the period. Can somebody get another one? Zubov dropped it in, maybe! Great save, Osgood on Kurt Muller! What a minute of offensive hockey! And now they get into it in front of the net.
Both of these teams are better defensively than they've shown in the last 2 minutes. Way better. Aaron Gavey will get credit for the goal. There's Gavey, who is really, this is Aaron Gavey's 3rd time being called up from the minors this time. This is the last play by Kirk Muller, and Chris Osgood was able to squeeze it. Otherwise, incredibly, we would have had a 4-4 game. Wow. This is not the way the Dallas Stars want to play it. They could win like this. Yes, it's not the way they want to play it. And the Detroit Red Wings are better defensively than they have shown in the last 2 minutes.
We've had 5 goals here in the second period. Gavey gets his 6th from Langenbrunner and Mapachuk in 1944 after Fedorov scored the shorthanded goal at 1922. His 19th of the year. Second shorthanded goal for Fedorov, Yzerman, and Shanahan picked up the assist. And by the way, Steve Yzerman, 2 assists in this game, now has 927 in his career. He has moved into 8th all-time in assists as Steve Yzerman has passed Stan Mikita on the all-time assist list.
Good for Steve Yzerman. Is just as valuable at this stage of his career defensively as he is offensively.
4.3 seconds left. Plenty of time for 5 more goals.
You bet.
Hatcher's into it now with Chelios.
Yeah, they've got Darian Hatcher moved up to be a blocking tackle here. He wants to just charge right through and get to Chris Osgood if they win the draw.
Hatcher has already picked up a 10-minute misconduct, a fighting, and a 2-minute penalty in this game.
Chelios wants somebody to listen to him. There's Chris Chelios. See, he saw Hatcher jab one of his guys and said, "You may tower over me, but I'm not going to bow to you."
I think that was Steve Yzerman that Hatcher reached for to touch. Puck's loose here, cleared up, and here we go behind the play again.
Chelios still.
Chelios got his stick between Hatcher's legs, and when he brought it up, tried to run it across his face.
Boy, Team USA was a long time ago, wasn't it? When these guys were teammates. Look at the size of Darian Hatcher, though. He looks down at just about everybody. In this game, he does. Detroit doesn't have anybody except the 19-year-old Yuri Fisher that's as big as Hatcher. Brendan Shanahan looks like he might have a little nick there under his eye from his first period fight with Darian Hatcher.
Officials want him to clear the ice now. We've completed the period. 5 goals. Fedorov for Beek and Fedorov again for Detroit. Morrow and Gaby for Dallas. What a third period we've got for you. The Red Wings lead at 4-3. The shots, though, have been evened up at 19-19. Wings 4, Stars 3. Stephen Barry.
All right, Gary and Bill, how about the nerve of Detroit picking on that poor Darian Hatcher guy? Huh? We 2 goals in the last 22 seconds apart. Great second period of hockey, but you think of these 2 clubs and great defensive teams. We got 7 goals already, and we still haven't played the 3rd yet.
And you want to know why?
Please.
The reason is to play defense, you have to be disciplined. You have to be thinking. You can't be running around. These 2 teams hate each other right now. They're playing with emotion. Shanahan's fight got Hatcher mad. Hatcher did a stupid thing and took a misconduct. Now they're both mad at each other, and they're running around trying to hit when they should be back playing defense. So that's why these 2 teams are giving up a lot of good goals now. They're playing with uncontrolled emotion, and that's bad.
All right, 4-3 Detroit. It's been a good hockey, and that might be bad.
Great game.
Good hockey, mostly playoff-type field.
Yes, it is.
Barry and I are back with more scores and highlights coming up on the Dodge Intermission Report. And one of Barry's favorites, Gino Ojic, the rare
400 from Yamaha. Out here, Bears rule. Now, get low payments.
After National Hockey Night.
We can't! We don't go back there! Look, his arms and legs are moving! He is smaller in person, hey!
I think it had done pretty well.
What did he say? Let me at him!
Go ahead.
You're not going to stop me?
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. By MasterCard, official card of the NHL and fan of the toughest players on the planet. And by Dodge, the official vehicles of the NHL. Dodge, different.
Welcome back, everybody. Just in case they want us for the next Swimsuit issue, we thought we'd take a different angle here, and we've already been rejected. Good game going on here with a 3rd period that, if it's anywhere near the first, it'll be a heck of a finish.
It's kind of a head-scratcher because the Dallas Stars are out of their mode. I mean, they wanted to grind this out. They wanted to play it deep in Detroit's zone. They wanted to keep the score down. That hasn't happened. The Detroit Red Wings are better opportunists than the Dallas Stars because they've got more skilled players. If Dallas doesn't play a tight 3rd period and wait for that chance to tie it, it could get worse before it gets better.
3rd period for Dallas has been a treat this year. They have tied a National Hockey League record with 8 wins this season when they have trailed after 2 periods, tying the record set by Pittsburgh in 91-92. If they can do it again here, they'll have the record. Mike Modano, goal and an assist already tonight. Hatcher and Chelios have met each other a number of times. Ready to go, and so's this crowd. 4-3, Red Wings on top. Shots even at 19-19. Dallas came back in that department on the shots chart in that second period when all kinds of offensive opportunities were at it. Fedorov back to get it. Dumped it up the wall. Murphy steps up. Murphy shot. Belfour will hang on. And we are underway in the third. Take a look at our Bud Light plus-minus board, updated with the games being played today, including this one. The leader, plus-minus in the National Hockey League. Chris Chelios out here tonight with a plus 37. Pronger and he both there with Pavel Demitra 10 behind at 2-7.
Doesn't seem to be aging. One of 8 Detroit Red Wings has played all the games. Chris Chelios has not missed one this season.
To have that many even's amazing.
Well, nobody in the NHL except the Detroit Red Wings has 8 players that have played all of the games. San Jose has 6. Florida 5. Dallas only has 2 players.
Belfour to knock that away. Larry Murphy wristed that one in. Grant Marshall off his stick and out to center. Mike Keane will send it back in. Keane is one of those who has been in all of the games for Dallas. He and Zubov are the only 2. Pushed out. Sergei Fedorov waiting at center. Fedorov coming. Hatcher there. Hook checked away as he drew it back. Actually, I don't think Hatcher even had to get a stick on that one. Osgood had to knock it away and played by Larry Murphy again. And this wide open affair offensive continues. Brought back in. Draper dumped it in. Fedorov looking for Draper cutting. Tried to feed it in. Bounced away to Draper to the point. Nobody there. They were changing behind the play. Chelios has just come off the bench. Detroit will complete their line change. He and Duchesne teamed up defensively. Brendan Shanahan out there. Larionov at center. Shanahan dumped it in. Deflected off Sador's stick. Maltby will chase down. He banged it up off the dasher. And it comes through the middle. Steve Duchesne, again, a good offensive year for him. Tied for 10 among defensemen in scoring. 8 goals, 30 assists for Duchesne, who is out there now. Maltby moves it in. Poke checked away. Cleared back out to center. Hull got tied up at center ice. Duchesne had a haul of it. Chelios. Hull and Chelios. New battle in the corner. Puck is there. Hull trying to kick it out of there and did. Dallas gets the offensive chance just out of reach. Adano coming across the middle had the chance. Adano had to hold up Maltby as he tried to break. That one sent back out the center to get on side. Adano with it. Adano feathered the pass into the middle. Poke checked away into the corner. Chelios poked it away, played for it, got it, Draper, and they'll move it out. 2 minutes into period number 3. Detroit behind the play, over the boards on the change. Hatcher. Kozlov had moved in on him. Dandino will give chase. Dandino out there with Nicky Lidstrom. Lidstrom on the near side. Backed up by it. Did not get that one out. Langenbrunner had it. Big collision out there. Down on the ice went for Beek. Near side to Kozlov. Kozlov will move it up. Kozlov will skate it in for Beek to Eisenman. Eisenman trying to center. Had it blocked on the near side. Nice defensive play by the rookie. No! And Belfour. And here goes Verbeek again in front. He and Sador were at it. Our Old Spice storyline on National Hockey Night from Dallas in this third period looks like this. Steve Yzerman of Detroit with 2 assists, now 8th all-time. Adano has reached the 800 career point mark at Fedorov, 2 goals, 19 on the year.
Our Old Spice replay, the last goal of the second period by Aaron Gavey of the Dallas Stars with some help from Larry Murphy. 16 seconds to go. So much time was left in the second when Dallas scored that power play goal.
Aaron Gavey, great story. He had plastic surgery, 120 stitches back in '96 when he had a skate cut. He got clipped and now has made his way back. Not an easy thing to do when you suffer that kind of an injury. It'll be chased down on the touch by Lidstrom for the icing call. Steve Levy.
Gary, thank you. Dodge takes us back to Calgary, and things weren't looking so good for the
Sports Center will have the final story there, and a look at the Lakers winning streak that's on the line. The Sunday conversation with Mark McGuire. Do it again. All coming out in Sports Center. Here, and we'll be watching to see whether or not McGuire continues the run at his all-time record. Face off to the left side of Eddie Belfour. On the draw, Eisenman won it back to the point. Dandino up with Lidstrom. Lidstrom the wrister. Save made, and Belfour will cover. Again, Pat Verbeek setting up the screen.
Maybe it's just this end of the ice, but there's so many offensive face-offs won, depending on which team is on the offensive side of things. This time, Steve Yzerman, and he almost always needs some help from a winger. Watch Nicholas Lidstrom. He walked it across. He wanted to go back over to the boards to Kozlov, but when Kozlov was covered, He drifted it in front for Pat Verbeek. Yzerman, after he took the face-off, moved to the front, tried to screen. Lidstrom looked at his first option, was back over to the boards to Kozlov. It wasn't there. He went right for the second option immediately.
Modano 12 out of 19 on face-offs, wins through 2, lost that one. Dandino on a blocker save, Belfort. Directed it into the near side corner. Kozlov waiting, but Modano able to flip that up, and they clear the zone. Near side Kozlov was there, Langenbrunner on a check. Lidstrom dropped it off. Detroit can pass the puck, moving it out of the zone. Brendan Morrow at the intercept, gets it back. Langenbrunner tried to drop it in. Not that time. Dandino there. Modano had gotten behind him. Net off at the other end behind Osgood, though. And that will draw the whistle. 16:50 to go here in the third. Not where you want to have the net. Unless you're Detroit.
Exactly. Turn it around, put it up against the boards.
A little tough to score that way.
Well, that furious pace that we finished off the second period with has kind of disappeared. As you would imagine, it was absolutely loose. I mean, way too loose for both Scotty Bowman's liking and Ken Hitchcock. But Detroit's good defensive play. It's funny, talking to Scotty Bowman this morning, he said, yeah, we got to get better defensively. We got to get better with the puck. When Detroit wants to improve defensively, they look for their puck control first, because that's how they beat you, and that's how they keep the puck out of their net, is by controlling the play all the time.
Got the puck, as in all sports, where you got to have control of whatever the offensive weapon is. You don't do that, you're probably playing pretty good D. Scotty Bowman believes in that. And actually, Hitchcock feels the same way, sometimes even more so, about not wanting high-risk plays that we mentioned earlier to be made. Especially coming through ice. Gavey, center, knocked away. Cleared up, not out. Aaron Gavey had brought that one in. Puck still loose in the corner. Duchesne reaching in with Thornton on him. Chelios will chase down on the far side.
You know, Gary, Detroit does a real good job of taking away to the middle, too. We talked about Dallas. If you try to force the puck into the middle, you're going to get it taken away. Well, the Detroit Red Wings have done a great job of taking away the middle on Dallas, too.
Hull was all alone, waited for help. Dished in behind the net where Osgood would play it. And Dallas will complete their line change here. The near side, Fedorov, bad pass. Marshall sent it in. He knew he had somebody there. Vyashenko, and that's going to be deflected up and into the seats. Turnover that Detroit gets away with. Wednesday, Cool Shots coming up at 5:30 Eastern on ESPN. Profile will be coming up. Tim Conley, Roberto Longo of the New York Islanders, and Jen and Dan are going to be on hand for the annual CHL Prospects Games. Prospects Games coach, none other than Bobby Orr.
All right, now don't forget, play your game. You play a physical game, be physical, not foolish. Be physical. Use your speed if you use speed. That's all you got here.
5:30 Wednesday, Cool Shots, Bobby Orr. Larry Murphy. Murphy starts it up. Dallas drops back. Went off Marshall. Played back to Nicholas Lidstrom. Fedorov, 2 goals, looking for the trick here in this game. And the Wings leading at 4-3. Osgood started out to get it. Puck died coming down the boards. Keane came on and put the hit. Centering pass, Vyashenko could handle it. E. Carbonneau is out of the game for the Dallas Stars. Yet another injury. Don't know how serious. A wrist injury. To Guy Carbonneau, he is out, will not be back. Left in that second period. In the middle. Zubov dropped it. Shot wide of the net. Osgood out to play it. He'll dump it out. D changing behind the play for Dallas. Matt Tkachuk just coming out on the ice. Now the forwards of Dallas making the move. He intercepted at center while the line change was going on behind. Larionov moved it up after Maltby had intercepted. Taken by Langenbrunner. Maltby got it again. Maltby trying to back it up, and it deflects to center. Detroit gets onside. Chelios sends it in. Eddie Belfour to play it. Belfour bangs it around the near side boards. St. Louis right now in first place. Detroit 84 points. St. Louis 91 in the Central Division. Shot in and a save. Belfour and Duchesne's riser.
Well, the Dallas Stars have tightened it up a bit here in the third period. Want to show their puck pressure on this play. Detroit's trying to bring the puck up. You see 3 Dallas Stars lined up this way. Watch how that configuration changes depending on where the puck goes when Detroit brings it up the ice. Right? We stop it here. All of a sudden, you'll see 3 guys this way because they want to make sure that they keep the puck on this side. It's very tough to get the puck through the middle on the Dallas Stars. For that matter, Detroit's been doing a pretty good job at it in this game as well. And against the Dallas Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, I think, are far better off playing that neutral zone pressure game than the left wing lock that they played for a few years, because the left wing lock allows Dallas to come, allows Dallas to get the red line, allows them to dump it in and get their forecheck going.
Hull tried to play that around to the forehand, had it knocked down. Thornton sends it in. Came off the dasher before Osgood could get it. Bounced straight up in the air. Muller sends it around behind the net. Thornton with it. Thornton hit by Chelios and Mulvey. Mulvey puts it around Kurt Muller. Near side Shanahan will pick it up. Brendan Shanahan, 4-3 Red Wings. 13:56 left, third period. Hull trying to move it in. Nope, Shanahan moved up on him. Former teammates colliding right there. Taken back by Thornton. Thornton will send it across. Detroit trying to get their line change completed here. Into the middle, Hull. The tip pass to center to Muller, who got taken down. 3-on-3 the other way, though. And Belfour will make the easy save, and that will be whistled right there.
Well, Eddie Belfour, as long as he can see it, got a pretty good chance of stopping it. Brett Hull, as long as he can see the guy coming, well, you can't always get out of the way. That was Brendan Shanahan that took him down.
NHL looking to add to that. SportsCenter coming after our game. Face off to the left side of Eddie Belfour. You'll just keep that in your mind that SportsCenter's coming after this game. I wanted to say it every 5 seconds, okay? Is it a deal? Detroit's got it. Zubov cleared it back into the middle. Marshall on the tip. Osgood. Osgood plays it off the stick near side and out to center. Yzerman had it, lost it. Kozlov picks it up. Kozlov with Shanahan. His shot. Belfour deflects to the near side corner. Zubov, nice pass. Zubov gets squeezed there, but got it in the middle of Marshall. Marshall moves it up. Marshall will send it back in, and Osgood back to get it. Osgood, Gavey had it. Lidstrom took it away, and cleared out by Kozlov. Yzerman, the intended on the aerial, couldn't knock it down. Yzerman, the hit, holds it in. Didn't have any help, though. Keane comes over. Detroit was changing up. Zubov's got it. 12:48 left to go. Third period. Red Wings up by a score of 4-3. 5-goal second period. None here, but Keane tries. Langenbrunner in the corner. Chelios took it away. There's Chelios, bad pass. Madonna! And it was blocked wide by Mulvey. Madonna had just come on the ice. Nobody had picked him up. He came down the middle wide open. Great chance, but Mulvey reached in. Actually had the stick knocked out of his hands. Brendan Morrow cleared it up. Hatcher trying to get it twice. Langenbrunner with it. Langenbrunner just dumped that one in down the far side. Osgood again coming back to play it. Langenbrunner, Morrow, Chelios all over there in the corner. Still loose puck. The battle brings it back out onto the point. Hatcher near side. Here's shot. That deflected up and over Osgood through a screen. Madonna couldn't see that one. Doug Brown over and will be knocked out to center. Mike Madonna, Morrow, Gavey. 3 goals up there for the Stars. And Detroit's had 2 from Fedorov, Lidstrom, and Verbeek. Madonna continuing his shift in his own end. Gets it back out to Hatcher. Hatcher into the corner. The Stars changing it up. Hull giving chase. Larry Murphy and he collide. Murphy one-armed that one up to LaPointe. LaPointe, great pass to Draper. Draper kicked it onto the stick. Tries to go through the middle and can't. Taken down by Manson. Sylvain Cote back in behind the net. Cote a new dad. Congratulations to Sylvain Cote. Missed 1 game. His fiancée gave birth a little earlier than expected. The boy's doing fine. Blocker save made by Osgood. Murphy had it, lost it. Murphy picked that one up, knocked down again. Iashenko over there. Held in by Thornton to Hull. Now they're taking it away behind the... Cleared up the near side. Cote had stepped up. Draper tried to clear, couldn't get it by. Puts the hit on Thornton, though. And Lidstrom will flip it out the center. Here's Fedorov looking for the trick. Fedorov tied up in his skates. Cote with it. Cote, Detroit, and Dallas will change it up. And Osgood plays it in behind the net. 24-20 the shots. Red Wings with the advantage again in that department. Played up in the middle. Larionov dishes. Shanahan, his favorite off shooting wing side, coming down that left wing. couldn't line that one up. Grant Marshall was over there, and they'll come through the middle. Matvichuk. Matvichuk looking. Kurt Muller at center. Muller to play it back. Matvichuk will help. He'll dump in wide of the net. Comes around the dasher near side. Shanahan there. Shanahan the high flip over the D. Maltby giving chase. Belfort coming out to play that to Zubov. Zubov turned it up the near side. Shanahan had it, lost it. Duchesne holds it in. Matvichuk will chase her down. Matvichuk. Grant Marshall was waiting at center. Zubov couldn't find him there, though. He'll tip that one into the zone. Shots 5-1 in favor of Detroit here in the third period. Shots 5-1 Detroit in the third. Muller's got it. Muller. Verbeek was over there. Langenbrunner. Verbeek took it away. Lost it to Muller. Detroit trying to get it timed. Langenbrunner hit by Duchesne. Duchesne couldn't control. Chelios over to help. Muller the hit on Yzerman. Verbeek the puck out to Kozlov in the backhand. And Kozlov will feather that in, trying to avoid the icing call. And did. Played by Sador. Yzerman was there. Both teams again changing. These changes have to be quick. The pace of this game forcing that. Dandino was over. Sador got a piece of that one. Langenbrunner helped him to hold it in. Knocked away Dandino to Kozlov onto the Detroit bench. 9:11 to go. Game up for grabs. National Hockey Night in Dallas. The visiting Detroit Red Wings on top 4-3.
It's President's Trophies for the Dallas Stars, and they're thinking President's Trophy again this year, even though they've got 10 points to make up on St. Louis. And the man who's had to shoulder such a great amount of the offense for this team because they've been so banged up all season, Mike Modano, scored or assisted on the last 7 Stars game winners. That's amazing. He's getting it done here tonight with the golden one.
Played by Zubov, and a chance, and that one just went wide of the net. What a chance for Thornton, cutting through the middle. Osgood had gotten knocked down, but he made the save. Thornton almost with a one to tie it. Out there with Hull's line. There to head by Thornton, taken by Lidstrom. Again to center. Fedorov out there on the intercept. Fedorov to Draper. Draper will drop it to the point. Shot LaPointe, and a save made by Eddie Belfour. Osgood has made some spectacular saves for Detroit in this game.
Sure has. Ken Hitchcock of the Dallas Stars mixing and matching now, not only with Guy Carbonneau out of the lineup with that banged up wrist, but he's looking for that tire. Well, Scott Thornton was out there. Brett Hull and Mike Modano reunited on that last shift. You're going to see all kinds of combinations, but you're going to see Ken Hitchcock load up with whatever he thinks is his offensive combos together. Oh. That went off Thornton and off Osgood, didn't it? And by the post right there. Chris Osgood almost put that in his net. That might have gone
the second one. Murphy got the other one.
Yeah.
Wow. Scott Thornton, career high 10 goals, but a good scorer in the minors. Almost got one there. Steve Duchesne sends it back in. Hatcher fends off Doug Brown. Langenbrunner cleared it out, and Duchesne will have to give chase. Osgood leaves it in behind the net. Steve Duchesne back to get it. Up the far side to Doug Brown. Red line far side, Tomas Lundstrom, and that's a 2-line pass. Let's check in with Steve Levy. Steve.
Gary, this is our 1-800-COLLECT-GRADE.
Battling back, and you'll see them in our rules game coming up. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks, Colorado Avalanche on Tuesday, March 14. Second semester of NHL rules for you, and you'll see it only here on ESPN, March 14. Kurt Muller, tough draw for him. Very close to that blue line. Linesman setting guys up. 8:14 left to go here in the third.
And Scotty Bowman with the 1-goal lead, and with nobody having left his bench due to injury, is just rolling his lines over.
Yzerman won the face-off. Detroit flips that one. I think it hit the scoreboard. It did. Puck up in the air, caught the underside of the scoreboard. That'll draw the whistle, and the face-off back out at center from where the flip was made, or just inside the line. Yzerman started to play the puck. He didn't realize that it got off the scoreboard.
It's a major lob right there. Those ants look a lot bigger, you know, from up here than they do from that camera angle.
He's going to say something about the broadcast view given in most new buildings, but no, I'm not going to do that. And the face-off will come at the top of the circle here in the Detroit zone.
Just another night's work for a couple of veteran refs in the NHL, Don Koharski and Bill McCreary, Dan Shakty and Wayne Bonney, veteran linesmen. Guys, it's like a final round of the Stanley Cup Finals. We've got here.
All veterans out there on the ice. Keane will dump that one back in. Lidstrom comes back to get it over to Murphy, back to Lidstrom. Marshall dumps it behind the net. In front, Keane, but he wanted to stick it 2-on-1. Eiserman coming. Eiserman, save made. Belfour. Kozlov was with him on the other wing.
Eddie Belfour gave zero thought to Slava Kozlov, who was just steamrolling on the left. Trusted his defenseman to take away the pass so that Steve Yzerman would have to blast. And that was an attempt to pass out to Mike Keane, and that's how this broken play happened for Detroit. With Yzerman on the come, you can see that Zubov was back really playing the pass, and Eddie Belfour out on top of his crease, trusting that Zubov would play the pass if Yzerman decided to pass. And he kind of ate Steve Yzerman up on that one, but that's one of those things where you just wind up and blast. If you hit an open spot, you're going to score.
2-goal lead it would have been. Instead, it remains a 1-goal game. Chelios back out, intercepts that one. He flips it way up in the air. Belfour is going to play it off to Hatcher. Third period, that's what Detroit's been doing. Just flipping from the other blue line, trying to get somebody behind the Dallas D that have been lining up at the blue. Detroit holds it in. Down the middle, Shanahan. Shanahan centering pass. And a coming up on Hatcher. Hatcher got Maltby. Delayed call. Off the near side, extra skater off for Detroit. Duchesne held it in. Extra skater. Detroit delayed whistle coming. Chelios the shot. Hit Yzerman. Comes out the center. As soon as he touches it, we'll get a whistle. Hull. And there it is. And with 6:51 to go in the third, the Red Wings are going to go on the power play.
A chop by Darian Hatcher. And Hatcher doesn't like this call, but nevertheless, he's made a couple of trips too many to the penalty box tonight, especially at the wrong time, which is right now. But the Red Wings are playing real smart. They're not trying to rely on their skill. They've been very conservative. The chop and then the cross-check from behind. This is after the penalty was called. It was coming. He was still chopping Kirk Maltby in the back of the legs. But the Red Wings have played a very smart third period. Yes, Dallas had a couple of scoring chances, but they're not trying to force any passes that aren't there. That's why they're flipping the puck high into Dallas's zone, trying to get up on the play, not trying to back up and go into a shell. They want to advance the puck, but it's got to be all high percentage. Otherwise, they're just lofting it into Dallas's zone.
Third power play for the Wings. They scored on their first one. Now we'll have a chance to really put some distance in here on this power play opportunity. With the clock running down, I'm going to play it out. Verbeek will take it back in behind the net. Third best power play in the league. The Detroit Red Wings against that #1 penalty killing unit of Dallas. Dallas had not given one up in the last 3 games. Detroit came out and immediately got one on their first power play chance. To the point. Yzerman. Fedorov tipped it. Zubov cleared it around. Lidstrom waiting. Played that hop. Lidstrom goes over to Yzerman. Bounces on him. Centering pass intercepted. Cleared out. Shanahan on the poke check away, and that's offside on the wing. Shanahan and Matt Tkachuk back off.
What game really has gotten kind of calmed down, hasn't it? From what we had in the second period, for that matter, the first period, real playoff intensity. It does look like Brendan Shanahan might have received one from Darian Hatcher. Look at that left eye. That looks like it's going to be a real nice shiner by the time the game is over.
It's got double the color here in this period alone.
We were talking to him face-to-face for 30 minutes this morning and didn't notice that.
I don't think that was there this morning. No. One back by Sergei Fedorov against Modano on the draw. Yzerman back. 1:13 left on this power play for Detroit. Yzerman moving it up. 6 to go in the game. Red Wings up by 1. Trying to even the series. Dallas winning 2 in Detroit. Detroit's trying to do the same. Win 2 here in Dallas. Brought back in by Madonna, short-handed. Madonna, centering pass. Ooh, he had one open, too, but it got blocked. Eisenman back. Langenbrunner was wide open in the middle. Langenbrunner flips it in behind the net. Madonna came back to get it, put it out on the blue line. Good, strong pass to Sador. Sador feathered it back into the middle. This is the penalty-killing unit at its best. Langenbrunner, Lidstrom tried to move by. Madonna got it and sent it in. And Detroit, 30 seconds left on their power play. Fedorov fed it out. Into the middle, knocked down by Madonna. Both teams changing. And a lot of people on the ice. May have been too many, but it could have been on either. Both teams changing and lots of folks coming over the boards. We'll see who this one's on. Dallas is arguing about it. Said these line changes have been tough in this game because the pace has really moved along, and the guys have had to get over the boards and off the ice in a hurry, and they didn't do it quick enough that time, and it looks like it's on Dallas.
Wow. And Ken Hitchcock, who prides himself on having a disciplined hockey team, he won't be happy with this effort tonight by his Dallas Stars team. He will not. Not only the too many men penalty, but some of the penalties that were taken. Darian Hatcher spending more time in the box than he spent on the ice tonight, which is really unusual for Darian Hatcher. He's always one of the top ice time gainers in the NHL. Ice time per game average is fourth in the NHL, 28:31. Tonight he's only played 12 minutes and 51 seconds. Why? Well, he spent 19 minutes sitting right where he is now.
Putting a 10-minute misconduct penalty. So Kirk Muller will serve, and for 26 seconds Detroit's going to have a two-man advantage. 26 seconds remaining on the first penalty, and now a new 2 put up there for Scotty Bowman's club. So Belfort has to hold the fort here with his club down by just a goal, but with 5:15 left. This will be tough. Two-man advantage, first two-man advantage that we've had in this game. Played to Duchesne. Duchesne moves it in. 5-on-3. Dono stays out. Larionov, good hold. Right along the skate there. Larionov fed it in along the boards. LaPointe couldn't get it.
Oh, what a good read by Richard Matvichuk. He pinched up on the boards because he knew that Larionov was going to slide it right to him.
Now Hatcher's out of the box. There he is on Murphy. 5-on-4 power play. Straight down the middle. Centered shot. Duchesne didn't quite get that where he wanted. It was a little wide on the short side. Minute 19 left on this power play. Should be power play number 4 now for Detroit. They've scored 1. Murphy back in his own end with Keane moving up on him. Larionov. Lidstrom sends it back to Murphy. Murphy. Larionov. Fedorov on the power play with Shanahan up front. Keane knocked his man down. Fedorov. Fedorov reaching in on the check. Couldn't get control of it. Matvichuk clears it out. 52 left. Detroit has not had a shot yet on this extended power play. Fedorov leaves it in. Shanahan back for Fedorov. Fedorov, Hatcher gets in between he and the puck. Near side Zubov around for Gavey. Aaron Gavey. 34 left on the penalty. Gavey will just send it in. Osgood out, Zubov there. He held it up. Lidstrom will pick it up. Detroit still on the advantage. Pat Verbeek. That one sent in from the wrong side of the red. But it's played by Eddie Belfort. Would have been an icing call. Zubov's got it. Zubov circles in front of his own net and does clear.
And as soon as Eddie Belfort committed to going and getting it, he had to go, because if you fake it, they're going to wave off the icing anyway. So you can't play that game. But once Eddie Belfort took one step, he was committed to going.
Gilchrist shot it through the top of the crease. Maltby back to get it. Penalty is over. 3:13 left to go. No shots on that extended power play. So Dallas's penalty unit keeps them in reach. Everything is just a 1-goal differential. Matvichuk around. Chelios hit by Muller. Down on top of the puck they go, and that will draw the whistle. So the finish, the Stars need 1 to get this game tied. They've got 2:59 to do it here in Dallas. National Hockey Night. Thanking you for being with us. The finish coming. And playoff intensity game. It's been a good one.
Yeah, it kind of leveled off in the third period. What's interesting is the Detroit Red Wings looked like they just wanted to kill off a couple of minutes on the clock on that last power play. They really didn't get anything done. As a result, they've left the Dallas Stars just 1 goal behind with almost 3 minutes to go here.
And the best comeback team in the NHL in the third period when trailing, the Dallas Stars. Near side to Zubov, 2:43 left to go. Osgood in behind the net. Knocked it down. Hull came in and centered. Osgood was out of the net, but Dallas did not have anybody there to take the chance.
And Detroit had 2 guys right where they were supposed to be. Dead center in the middle.
Lyashenko sent it in off the far side boards. Point tried to get it up, couldn't. Thornton on the near side. Thornton backed up. Chris Chelios there with him. Hull waiting for a loose puck. LaPointe steps into the middle of the pack and got it out of there. And Steve Duchesne will clear. Detroit now just trying to run this clock down with 2:08 left to go. They'll change up, but there will be an icing call. Sports Center coming along as soon as our National Hockey League broadcast game is done here on National Hockey Night. And you'll take a look at basketball, the NBA LA streak. The Devils and the Flames in a tight game in the Sunday conversation. Looking at Aaron's record and Mark McGuire's chase. All coming up on Sports Center.
Thank you. Thank you. Huge face-off here. Mike Modano's going to take it with the Stars. You know these are 2 of the top teams in the NHL. Check out tonight. 38-37. That is how close it has been. Dallas with a 1 face-off victory advantage. It's not how many minutes win, it's where and when. And good play there by Kozlov to get out.
Modano won it, but they did not control. And boy, a bullet avoided right there. Verbeek was wide open on the right wing that time. They couldn't get it over. Played back by Sylvain Cote. Up to Hatcher. Hatcher off the boards into the middle, but Detroit will get it back. Lidstrom will feed Larry Murphy. Murphy through the middle. Langenbrunner hit Langenbrunner with that one. And the dump in Osgood leads it. Lidstrom, Modano up, and then 35 left to go. We'll keep an eye on Eddie Belfour. The other end for Dallas. Langenbrunner, Modano out there, back up to Cote, a screen in front. Hatcher's dropped down low to screen. Langenbrunner got tripped up as he went for the puck. Comes around the near side. Held in. Hatcher taken away by Kozlov and cleared out of the zone. Lidstrom. Cote back a minute 15 left here in the third. Both teams changing. Langenbrunner into the middle. Chelios read it. Walked Gaby out. Larionov comes the other way. Larionov just dumped that one on the hard around. Near side, Maltby got pinned up. 1 minute left to go. Eddie Belfour will look to the bench here if they can get it out of the zone. Larionov stayed up on the forecheck, though, forcing the play. Cleared out through center. Maltby intercepted. Big defensive play by Maltby. Duchesne sends it up through the middle, making sure there's no icing. Again, both teams changing. Pass through the middle under Shanahan's stick. Intercepted and sent in by Chelios. 36 seconds to go, and Detroit won't let Belfour off. They're not getting enough ice. Eddie Belfour heads out behind the play. Kurt Muller. Muller sends it in. The ricochet will go up and off the boards. Murphy pinned up Thornton. Muller. Sergei Fedorov around. Modano in the corner. Couldn't get it. Up to the point. Empty net at the other end. This game is history, Brendan Shanahan. The Detroit Red Wings with a 5-3 lead. 13.6 left. And Elvis is no longer in the house.
Really impressed, though, the way the Detroit Red Wings played the last couple of minutes of this game. They didn't sit back at all. I mean, they looked really confident, kept coming at Dallas. Eddie Belfour only got to the bench with, what, about 30-35 seconds to go on the tip. Pretty good. Chris Osgood made hugies when he had to. Then the Detroit Red Wings are coming. It's also got to keep in mind the Dallas Stars continue to attempt to get healthy. Down a goal to the Detroit Red Wings is when you could use Yuri Lehtinen and Joe Nieuwendyk, who are 2 of their top 4 forwards. So Ken Hitchcock's guys still have to get healthy down the stretch here.
Now Guy Carbonneau up with a wrist injury tonight. Osgood will knock that one down. Fedorov 2 goals and an assist. Lidstrom 1 and 1. Yzerman 2 assists. And a save made by Osgood. He's still sitting there. He reaches out to cover, and this game's over. Chris Osgood adds to his numbers. 16, 6 and 3 lifetime now against Dallas. Belfour 19, 26 and 7 the loser. And the Detroit Red Wings even the series 2 and 2. Each team winning 2 on the other's ice.
Not the kind of game I think that the Detroit Red Wings expected against the Dallas Stars. I mean, how often do you get 5 against the Dallas Stars, the second best defensive team in the NHL? But tonight it was a matter of Detroit, the #1 offensive team, just overpowering the #2 defensive team.
Detroit keeps their streak alive. They are 3-0-1 in their last 4. 7th straight road win in a series head-to-head between these two teams as Detroit gets it and looks strong in doing it. So the Detroit Red Wings will continue to try and make that run for that #1 spot that won't be easy, but they are playing well. Our final score from Dallas, the Red Wings 5 and the Stars 3. A reminder, Sunday night, ESPN at 8 o'clock. We'll be with you as a couple of teams needing points, the Flyers.
In Atlanta, the most exciting play in hockey. That was just part of Dinian's long and winding road back in net. Bob McKenzie looks at possible targets at the trade deadline, plus plays of the week from my belly. Don't get mad.
The battle begins, and everybody involved in the tug-of-war.
Get even. NHL Tonight is now. The Avalanche and the Oilers meet with first place on the line. Good to see you, John Butchergross, Solo, Ed Mia. We have all the highlights, of course, all the trade information and all the injuries as well. But again, we begin with the game of the night. The Oilers and the Avs. And the Oilers slightly in the driver's seat, having a game in hand and a softer schedule down the stretch. This is a huge one. Colorado needs to win these head-to-heads against Edmonton with their difficult schedule down the stretch, while the Oilers, with the win, can get a 2-point lead with a game in hand and an easier schedule in their last 14 games. Let's go to Edmonton, and what Michael Patton was to faith no more. Raymond Bourque, who now has faith, is to Colorado. His first as an Av. 1-0. Watch the great puck movement by the Avalanche. This is why Raymond Bourque wanted to be traded. He wondered what he had left as a hockey player. Here's what he has left. 1-0 Avs. Later in the first, Edmonton power play. Jim Dow from the point blocked, and Alex Sullivanov gets behind the D. I mean, he gets behind the entire defense. His 22nd tied at 1. Things get a bit chippy here. Dougie Waite flattened by Denmark, and he takes it out on Peter Forsberg, the people's elbow. No call. Forsberg wanted one. Still in the first, another Colorado power play. Bourque goes for #2, but Salo the save. Rebound wide. Salo 12 saves in the first. Late first, still 1-1. Hammerlick from the point, no, but can you smell what Larocque is cooking? Jabroni's 8th, 2-1. Edmonton leads. Second period, weird play. Watch Adam Denmark's stick hit his teammate, Joe Sakic. Sakic, bloody. So is Adam Foote. The officials actually gave Edmonton a double minor. Ensuing power play, Bourque. #2 for Raymond Bourque. He ties the game at 2. Kevin Lowe incensed. Later in the second, the other player who came over in that trade, Dave Andrechuk, blocks the shot, loses his lumber, but it doesn't matter because Adam Denmarsh, lock and load me. 4-2. 1-goal lead now. Joey Sakic, there's not a better hockey player in the world right now. And he gives Colorado a 4-2 lead. And that would be big. 2-goal lead for Colorado. Edmonton trying to get within 1. Billy Guerin a chance, but look at Patty Waugh styling. Colorado is in first place. Sakic, Denmarsh, and 2 from Raymond Bourque. March 8th of '83. The only hat trick of Raymond Bourque's career. It was in Quebec. Patrick Waugh needs 11 more wins to become the all-time winner between the pipes. If he finishes 11-2, he'll do it this year. 2 goals for Ray, 3 away from 400. Of course, he's the all-time leading goal scorer among defensemen. Sakic is warm. The Oilers are not at the wrong time, although Alex Sullivanov is heating up. But again, Raymond Bourque, his first 2 goals as a member of the Avalanche.
I can't remember. I told somebody on the bench that wasn't this year, it wasn't last year. So, you know, you get my age, some things you have a hard time remembering. Coming here to be a big part of this team. You know, I love playing. I love the competition. We got a great team here. And, you know, something pretty special in this room with the amount of talent that we have. So it's a real exciting situation for me.
Oilers, though, shouldn't keep their heads down. They have 14 games left. Of the 14, only four are against teams currently over 500. Colorado, a tougher schedule. 2 at Detroit, 2 at Dallas, 1 against Philly this Sunday on ESPN, and 1 in Phoenix are their games with teams over 500. Colorado, 9 of their remaining 13, however, are at home. With Michael Pekka down for likely the rest of the regular season, Buffalo Sabres did not stand pat, acquiring 2 centers in less than 24 hours. Late Thursday night, they acquired Chris Gratton from Tampa Bay, and on Friday, Doug Gilmour came over from Chicago. Gilmour, 1 more year left on that $6 million a year deal. Hawk GM Mike Smith says the Hawks will pay almost half of that contract. Going to Chicago from Buffalo, Michael Grosek, a 24-year-old left winger with just 11 goals. Last year, he had 20. That was Friday night. Late Thursday night, make that Friday, the Sabres got another center, Chris Gratton. Believe it or not, he's only 24 years old. He had 14 goals this year for the Lightning. And Brian Holzinger, one of 3 players going to the Lightning, just 7 goals in 59 games for Brian. Here's your trade reaction, Lindy Ruff.
We've got a guy that was a captain, a guy that has been around a long time. We've talked about our power play for the past 2 years. I think Dougie's going to help us out. Gratton should be able to help us out. Both guys have played in those situations throughout their careers and made a living at it. So we've addressed our needs, and hopefully that those guys will come to the forefront for us.
Sabres also get a pretty good prospect in J.P. Dumont, a great scorer in junior play. Again, the Hawks will pay about 40% of Gilmour's salary this year and next year as well. The other deal, Gratton and a second-round pick goes to Buffalo. The Sabres send 3 players and a third-round pick to the Lightning. So, would the rest of the Sabres be inspired by their latest acquisitions home to Montreal? If Montreal wins, they move to 7th in the East. There's Dougie, not in uniform. Gratton in uniform. First period scoreless. Brian Savage rides Jason Woolley into the boards. Woolley shaken up. He would leave the game, but he would come back. Still in the first. Watch, that's Jay McKee. A bit of an aggressive play here, a bit careless. You don't want to do this down the stretch. Gloves it and tries to go out with it, but he lost his stick. Turnover. Petrov to Darby. Montreal 6-2 in their last 8 road games. They lead 1-0. Sabres power play last in the league, 9.9%. But guess who ties the game? Woolley. Everything's fine. Twisted wrister ties it at 1. Montreal power play 8th in the league. Watch the great pass by Joltok to Linden. Linden's 12th. Montreal, they lead 2-1. Later in the second, Gratton down the wing. His blast saved by Hackett. But Maxim Afinogenov slams it home. Take another look. And this is a Maxim stuff. And that's 2 good magazines. 2-2. Afinogenov's 14th. Third period, tied at 2. Schmelik, the shot stopped by Gratton. Iron City. Gratton almost a hero. Halfway through the third, still 2-2. Brisebois stopped, but guess who? Brian Savage, his amazing return continues. 14th goal. Now under 20 left. Montreal, as we see Savage put it in. Aerial on the backhand and the go-ahead goal. Sabres have 1 more chance. They pull Hasek. Stu Barnes will try the wraparound. Oh, the quick from his forehand to his backhand, but Hackett is there. Savage, Darby, and Linden for Montreal. Afinogenov and Woolley for Buffalo. Montreal has 70 points. They're 7th in the East. The Sabres only 13 games left. They have to make their move now. Look at Montreal. They're playing well, especially against Buffalo. Zhitnik didn't play because of that broken finger. Look at Hasek, just 2-4-1 in his last 7. The Canes have won 3 in a row. The Bruins have lost 5 in a row. First period, no score. Darren Van Imp. Get in my belly! 5 feet behind the blue line. 1-0 Bees. They only won 2 games in February. Looking for their first in March. Take another look. Herbe anticipating the clear-in. We've seen that before. 1-0 Bruins. Second period, Carolina power play. 11th in the league. Jeff O'Neill. No, Gary Roberts, yes. His second of the game. Ties the game at 2. Bruins short-handed. Remember, they haven't scored a shorty all year. 3-on-1. Mikko is going to keep it. No, Bruins still with no shorties this year. third period. Tied at 2. Pat Burns can't believe it. Robert Cron wins the faceoff. Then tips it by John Graham. Hurricanes lead 3-2. They're in good shape, right? The Bruins, no chance. Bork gone, no spirits. Watch this. Sean Hill, look out. Joey Thornton, no penalty called. Same shift, smackdown number 2. Good hit by Hill on Joey. Just under 2 left in the third. Game tied at 3. Bruins power play. 0 for 14 coming in this game. 2 for 47 coming in. But Joey Thornton gloves it, drops it, score! Herbe can't believe it. Bruins goals, Ralston, empty netter. Smith, Bates, Thornton, and Van Imp. Carolina, 2 for Roberts and Cron. Carolina, they're 10th in the East, 2 behind the 8th place Rangers, but with the game in hand on New York. After the game, Rob DeMaio traded to the Rangers for Mike Knuble. Knuble will join the Bees in Montreal in time for Saturday's game. Yes, DeMaio does make more money, but just $150,000 more. Francis warm, Gary Roberts warm as well. So Montreal defeats Buffalo. They're now 7th. Rangers and Pens were idle. Of course, Carolina lost to Boston, so there is your playoff picture. Pens, Canes, and Sabres right now out looking in. Coming up, we have more show. Guess who's back in Big D? Nothing like a cup of joe to wake up the stars. And when Steve Eisman was a youngster in Canada, do you think he ever dreamed of scoring a goal in Nashville, Tennessee?
Did you know it could actually cost you more to call your state capital than your nation's capital?
I did not know that.
It's true. But with Sprint nickel nights anywhere, in-state and out-of-state calls are all the same nickel all night long. Nickel across the state, nickel across the country.
It's almost too easy.
Sprint nickel nights anywhere. You do the math. We'll do the geography. Switch to Sprint at 1-800-PIN-DROP.